Hey, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I think I had the microphone too close to my face. The video quality might actually look better. I had some camera issues, and right now I went to my backup, a Razer Kaio Pro webcam. But I think it's giving better video than the camera does because it's limited sometimes. Let me just move it down here so it's not in my face. Let's check the audio levels real quick, and then we'll start off with music, like I said last week. That'd be so cool. Let me go to the channel, make sure I am streaming properly. That'd be so cool. Let me go to the channel, make sure okay, it works. Cool. Let's adjust this a little bit. The cool thing is I can adjust certain things. That's cool. Brightness, maybe a little lower. And then saturation, maybe a little lower. Nah, let's bring some color to my face. There we go. I'll figure out the setup eventually. I'm trying, dude, all this stuff that you got to go through when you're just starting, when you're trying to improve things from your current setup. Like, all right, so now I got you on the webcam, right? But this is the camera I was using, this whole thing right here. And it turns out it was stuck at 720p because Canon, the maker of the camera, wants to be a little picky with their software. They're turning everything into a SaaS, including webcam functionality of a camera that you bought, which is capable of streaming 1080p, but they nuke it because why not? You can charge people $5 a month. And so they do it. And that's what we have to deal with. So I was trying to set that up, and I recently just upgraded software on my Mac, and now nothing works. So I have to just use whatever I got, and this is working. So maybe I'll just stick with this. It'd be cool if I have this set up and I can get the main camera working. Then we can actually have a multi-cam setup and just like, hey guys, and then do the different angles and stuff. That'd be really cool. But yeah, let's start off with music. This is a new instrumental that I haven't released yet, but it's called Northern Hills, just based on one of the loops I use. We'll just play that while I get everything else set up, but enjoy, I guess. Let's move the mic here, and let's play. That bass line is nice. That bass line is nice. I don't know. So I haven't finished that one, but I think it's pretty cool. And it starts off with like the thumping where you actually don't know where it's gonna go. and then leads into this whole new direction, like this part here, the beginning, where it's, I think, like a techno, like, and then I add like the ambient guitar in there, and then it kind of throws you off and it goes in a different direction, which a lot of the instrumentals I make do. They do that. It's unexpected, and I like that. So that's coming soon if I ever get the motivation to finish it. But I got a lot in the tank that all need work. So that's what I'm doing. This week, we have a few topics. As usual, figuring out Instagram, and it's kind of cool, like actually growing an audience. It's a sizable audience at this point. Like, grew, I think since last week, it must be over 10,000 followers maybe? I don't know. I don't remember what I said it was last week, but right now it's over 35,000. And it's probably going to get over 40 by the end of next week. Maybe even 45. It'd be crazy if we break 50 before the end of the year. That's crazy. But I think I kind of figured out Instagram, and the algorithm is actually working in my favor. So, and actually figuring out like how to make content that people will share. And then you're like tapping into people's, I don't know, desires or their impressions of themselves, because sometimes people have ideas about like what should be said or have feelings that just haven't been vocalized yet. And I think part of making content online, if you want to resonate with people, is to tap into that. That's a great way. And then here's the funny thing. People are sharing it on their stories. They're sharing it on stories. So I think it's living beyond the algorithm. There is no algorithm necessary for this. This is all just people sharing it with each other, which is awesome. Wow, it's blessed. Hashtag blessed. But yeah, maybe if I move it down here, it'll be better. So I'm not like peaking the microphone. Eventually I gotta upgrade the microphone, figure out this whole camera thing. Man, all this I gotta figure out, but I don't know. The fact that this is actually like, maybe this is the inflection point, at least on Instagram. TikTok, I got shadow banned. I said something that I shouldn't have said, or at least just a term that I thought was innocuous, but apparently not. And a steep decline in viewership. Not that I'm doing it for views. That's the thing. Like, I'm just saying the things that I think should be said, and people seem to resonate with. But the idea is like attracting like-minded people who have this sense of rebelliousness, who maybe have a maybe they have a hunch that the world isn't quite right, and figuring out how maybe we can make it more right. I don't know. So, ooh, this looks better. There we go. I think this is the good saturate white balance right there. Man, all this stuff, dude. But anyways, I have some topics. I posted some videos this week. One, today I posted about introversion. So a lot of people want to claim it when maybe they're not introverts at all, which is crazy, because it's like, I remember when it wasn't a cool thing. Now it's become a cool thing. Everyone wants to be labeled as something. And so introversion's an easy one to go after, because, you know, the people who are introverted aren't going to call you out because they're shy. And so it's just like, oh, we're special too, whatever. I also posted a video about unfunny. So like 25% of people just are not funny. They don't have a sense of humor. They don't get sarcasm. Everything's got to be taken too seriously. And I noticed this when I posted the other video I posted this week, which is where I posted about black people who sound white. It did decent numbers. It did okay numbers on YouTube. I think you could do more if it's like pushed to the right audience, but that one's like a 500,000 views on Instagram, about 12,000 on TikTok, which it's weird how the different platforms, the same piece of content can perform wildly different, have wildly different performance on different platforms. Which, I don't know. I don't know if there's like something shady going on, because it's like, it's more universal, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll look into it some more. But I basically posted, you know, that trend that people have been doing where, hey, we're in the Marines. Of course we blah, blah, blah. We're in the Marines. We blah, blah, blah. And so I did basically the same thing, but for black people who sound white. And there's a bunch of series of stuff that I intended to be satirical. I don't know. A lot of people took it seriously and they were getting hurt in the comments, which obviously I gotta like hurt them more in the comments. Like I gotta rib them a little more. So that was fun. And so yeah, it's doing numbers. Some people got it, some people didn't, and people who got it were really fucking with it, and I got a lot of follows off of that, so that's cool. Gathering all these people, right? That's what I think I'm doing. I'm gathering people who kind of fuck with this energy of like free spirit, open-mindedness, are able to think at least for themselves, have a rebellious spirit. I don't know if there's a single term I can call, I can use for it, but slowly bringing these people in, regardless of race too. It's really fun. So that I did that. I also posted a hot crazy matrix, but explaining that it is not a linear graph. It's more like this right here. It's a third degree polynomial. I made a whole video about it explaining math and derivatives and stuff like that. It's just satirical again. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but that's another video I posted. And then fridges, about how refrigerators work. And I think I'm gonna start doing that. Like, it's a mix of content. There is no set thing. You will learn. If you follow the Table Moments page on any platform, you will learn. You will have your thoughts challenged. You will come across interesting shit. And also, I don't know. I think that's what it is so far. And I have some ideas for longer form videos. I always talk about this. I'm gonna go make longer form videos, and I've been writing scripts too. So it's been really cool to actually organize my thoughts and keep myself from yapping on camera, as they say. And it's been cool. It's been working, at least for Instagram specifically. So I'm looking forward to doing more and more, and actually making it longer form content where we can push culture. That'd be interesting. I don't care to change the world. I'm realizing like the world is just broken, but what if we can just gather like-minded people and we can like make our own communities and not have to fuck with the rest of it? I'm thinking that'd be cool. And then also cool projects. I have some really cool ideas. I have plenty of ideas. It's hard to just do it all by myself. So I've been focusing on the media stuff. But eventually I want to get into like, I'm already getting into product design. Like even these I made this myself. This is a wallet. This is the new Table Moments logo I've been experimenting with, but it's a little too big for the proportions of this wallet. But essentially it's just a thin front pocket wallet that you could just whatever. And so the only way I think this can make money and sustain itself and fund bigger projects is if sell our own things here, because I can imagine a lot of advertisers being cool with like all the directions and the kind of stuff I've made, calling things out and making fun of sacred things, like whatever. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting if I could pull this off. If I pull this off, oh my God, it's not even I hate to say it, it's me, it's us. It's the fact that I think all the people who followed Table Moments so far, you guys are trendsetters, you're tastemakers, you're people who don't need clout in order to judge something independently. People appreciate the work. People appreciate, and I get it in the comment section. It's like, oh my God, I stumbled on your page. I finally found a home, whatever. Or like, you earned a follow, whatever. I was just like, thank you. Finally, after years of this shit, man, years. Oh man. And then I just, lately I've been thinking about when I first started this, like years ago. I mean, is there any material, tangible thing to come out of this? Yeah, if you made some money off of this, but nothing significant. But it's not about money. It's about the community, the people we're attracting here, who I think are more interesting than the average. And yeah, there's something we can all find some use out of it eventually. That's the goal. But thank you for putting up with technical difficulties and this weird angle. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually. Maybe if Table Moments gets enough money, I can have my own personal Jamie who can help me with all this stuff. And just like, yo, Jamie, look that shit up, man. Look that shit up. Fact check me. Could you get all the equipment and stuff? And I could just, I don't know. I don't want to be one of those douches who just shows up and just like, I'm the content. I'm the fucking, like the anchors and all that stuff. I want to be able to know how to do all this because I kind of want to stay grounded to the whole element of making the work happen, feeling the pain. Sometimes I don't want to feel the pain, but I think sometimes it's useful just to keep you grounded and in touch with the going ons, But let's see, let's move you guys closer a little bit maybe. And then let's add the TikTok people right now. Let's go live. 3, 2, actually I might have to move you guys back a little bit. Hola, everyone. Oh man, I bet you a lot of people are gonna say I look like a doctor. I think it's this get up here. I was thinking about getting a lab coat too, just so I could really sell this whole doctor thing. I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not a doctor. Not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, even though I look like one. I'm not a doctor. Although it'd be really cool to go to med school, like later stage in life, like when the kids are older, like in their teens or whatever, just go to med school. Or it'd be cool to go to med school with one of the kids. Just like, yeah, your dad's, I don't know, they're probably not gonna like it, but I don't know, whatever. It'd be cool to just go to med school. What up, Grazy? What's up, man? What's good? I'm good. I'm good. Just joined live. Doing the whole Sunday night thing. Technical difficulties. I was planning to actually come earlier, so I don't have to spend these like 5 hours late into the night doing this shit. But you ever consider making your own SaaS company? I've tried. Yes, and I'm still trying. It's just hard to find an idea, a problem that you can solve. But yeah. First thing I tried, dude. I've tried starting companies. Originally I tried to start with some friends. Actually, the first company we tried starting was a telecommunications company. This wasn't SaaS. This was like hard tech, uh, basically providing providing high-speed internet to rural customers. If you live in a big city, you don't know what the pain of not having internet access, but when you live in a small town or outside of the city, it's hard to get stable, high-speed internet. And when you're in a big city, you only have one or two options, usually only one option. And so these people were stuck. So like if you live in a rural town or whatever, you don't have internet options. And I decided to like solve that problem for them using cell towers actually. Did you know they make these like modems, these boxes that you can put a SIM card into that will give you high-speed internet using a cellular connection? Same thing like your smartphone or whatever. So that was the first thing we tried to start. And yeah, I remember contacting like Verizon. Well, we didn't contact Verizon because they already had a competing product, Fios, but we contacted Sprint at the time, formerly Sprint, before they merged with T-Mobile. Prices, their quotes for gigabits, whatever, just wasn't going to work for home internet. AT&T, they pawned us off to some intern or whatever. And then T-Mobile was interested. Well, we contacted T-Mobile, see if we can do something there. And they were like, we'll think about it. But essentially they were working on their own product in the back end, but they just didn't tell us. So that was the first thing. Second thing, I did put together some software, like basically like Hootsuite, Buffer, Loomly, but a simplified version that I was using myself. The code's broken now, but it was cool. I tried building that. Now I've been thinking about an idea, which I think could solve like some of this content creator issues of like being canceled and shadow banned, and then you don't have access to your audience anymore, kind of thing. I think I can build a product for that. So that's what I've been focused. I ran some ads to test the idea because I have this bad problem of trying to build software for people before I verify demand is there. So this time I was like, you know what, let me run some X ads on this idea. And there was some traction, a little bit, some interest. I don't know if it's enough. So I think I have to sell the idea better or see if there's like a bigger market for it or find the right niche for this kind of product that I'm thinking about. It's basically like platform insurance. It's an insurance product essentially. But it's basically a mailing list, but I'd be selling it as a insurance product. So, if you look at email lists and the limiting factors for like the number of people who can be on a list and stuff, and if you consider like even I just crossed 100,000 subscribers or subscribers/followers across all platforms, right? Just yesterday, it was crazy. And so I'm like, if I wanted to put these people on an email list, it would cost me hundreds of dollars because of the limits on the number of people you can have on an email list. But it's just text entries on a database. So I was thinking like, what if I can build something that's just for the purpose of an in case of emergency list, in case I get banned or canceled on any of these platforms. I pop off too much sometimes. And it's like, so I don't need to send emails. I just need the contacts and store it somewhere and give people a chance to like be able to submit if they want to connect one day in the future in the event anything happens. And so that's the idea. Platform insurance is the idea. I haven't come up with a name. If you come up with a name, please. And I'm thinking about like using like cookies to be able to track people who've already submitted, so you can just redirect them automatically once they've submitted their email. And each creator would have like a unique, like a URL and stuff, or maybe you could do redirects and stuff. I'm thinking about all these optimizations, but the original idea is just like platform insurance, just a way, give some security. And it's an easy way to sell people because you're selling fear essentially, which I hate that I have to do it, but it's also a legitimate fear a lot of content creators have of like putting all this work, years of effort, and then losing your audience like that. You wonder why these creators become a little too safe. Who started off edgy and then all of a sudden become like milk toast and boring. It's because they're afraid. It's fear. And so if you could take some of that fear away, they can be free. And so that's what I'm thinking. What if you made software which tracks a user's digital footprint? Could you explain? What do you mean? Like where they've been online? I don't know if people want that, because I don't know, people have some dark habits, if you know what I mean. It would be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, explain it a little more, Gracie. Let's see. Come on, Papa. Come on, give Papa a smoothie. Smoochie? Okay. Are you a C-section or natural birth baby? I'm pretty sure I was natural, but could have been C-section. I'm a big guy. Could have been a big baby too. So, Helen Keller's ass crack smell. That's funny. Like, let's say a lawyer posted some wild shit on Twitter when they were in college in 2013. Also, this would be a tool would this be a tool people use to cancel people, or would this be a tool to use to find all the wild things you've said and then get rid of it? Oh, deletes it. Okay, deletes it. Interesting, I guess, yeah. As far as that idea, it's like a one-time thing because you scan all their stuff and then once you catch them all, so it would be a one-time fee. So maybe you would charge like $500 for something like that to make it worth it. Otherwise, like you can't charge $20 for that. A tool to find wild shit you posted and delete it. Yeah. And then that's the thing, like, how do you guarantee it though? That's the thing, how do you guarantee it? Because people are gonna pay, you could easily hustle people out of like money because you're just like, oh yeah, we did it. But people can't verify if the thing worked or not. And so that's the thing, like this could be a great way to like get, and then what happens if you miss something? Then what? It's like, I guess maybe you can get insurance and like, you know how they have unemployment insurance? What if there was cancellation insurance? In the event that you get canceled, after you've used this service, the company will reimburse you maybe 2 years worth of salary or something like that. I don't know. I think, I don't know. That's an interesting tool. It'd be funny to just like put up pages and share these ideas with the world and see if they fuck with it or not. That was a random question. I don't know. I like random questions. Random questions are always good. I don't know. If you have any random questions, feel free to put it in the chat. But yeah, I have all these ideas for software. Like another idea I've been messing around with is like a server in every home. Any advice for a man who just turned 30? Well, I'm 30. I'm turning 34, so I don't know if I can give you much advice. I don't know. Do you like the state of your life? I don't know. When I turned 30, 20s, it's all just about like trying to figure out what's working, what isn't, and trying to find yourself. But here's the thing. I've always done things later in life. By 30, what should be expected? I don't even like that question, man. I don't know. It depends what you want. It's about you. Like, I know we like to measure ourselves against other people, but I've made a decision not to measure myself against the way other people live because I don't want to live the way other people live. Like, it'd be nice if you have some savings for sure, that in the event that you lose your job, you will be fine for multiple years. That's a good position to be in. If you're not there, I recommend it because it's a level of peace of mind that, you are comfortable. It's a lot easier to sleep at night. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about if your boss is giving you shit, you find another job. You're not tripping if they let you go or if you quit. So I would say by 30, have some savings. 6 months is, I think, most people say 3 months worth of, but considering the economy now, I'd say 6 months worth of savings. And if you have to cut back, cut back. Because the peace of mind is priceless. Well, I guess it comes at a price, whatever 6 months worth of monthly expenses, and then probably some buffer on top of that. Live your life to the fullest, whatever that means to you. Hey, that's decent enough advice. Nice to see you here, Creed. For me, it's been trying to find my purpose. Like I did the whole college thing. I got the degrees. I even did the master's thing, got that. Did the whole corporate thing, working for the government, and then did the private sector thing. Money was good, money was cool, but by my early 30s, like literally like 30, 31, I just realized it wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I can't, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing more. I just haven't quite figured out what the end state's gonna look like, but it's just like searching. It's a lot of searching. If you found the thing for you, then good for you, man. You're in a really good position. But if you're still searching, then yeah. Or if you're unfulfilled, then maybe you should consider putting more effort into the search. How old am I? I am 33, going on 34 next month. So, how old do I look though? I got some gray hairs though. That's cool. 1, 2. I think I have one somewhere right. I can't wait till I get more of them, and then I could pass for like 40s. Dude, that's so cool. That would be so cool. Oh man, I don't know. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with looking young. It's like I like looking old. I feel like an old guy. I thought you were 28, 29. Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like if I like trimmed up the beard and like dropped a little more weight, then yeah, I would definitely look way younger. But I like looking older. I like looking older. I don't want to be treated like these kids. Like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about those middle-aged guys who still wear the fitted caps worn backwards, the jeans with the J's? Like, it's like you're 40, bro. Like, yeah, I feel like you got to grow into it. You got to grow into your age. I mean, I think I'm getting into that age where I'm going to start wearing blazers. I feel like I have to. Bro, you're literally the smartest millennial Habesha I've seen. No, please, let that not be true. Oh my God, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I come off as smart, but I don't know, man. I'm stubborn as hell. I end up having to learn things myself because I don't believe what people tell me. And, but I don't know. I like to justify it to myself as if I have a deep understanding of things because of it. But like with this whole social media stuff, people give advice. I've ignored all of it. And then I just like, you know what, let me figure this shit out myself. And I just grind it. I just grind shit out for no reason. Other than like, I just don't trust people. And so whatever. It takes me longer than most. And that's the thing. It's funny you say smart because like, I don't know. Smart's always been a weird word for me. I sound smart, sure. People, especially when I start talking about a bunch of stuff, people are like, oh man, smart guy. And yeah, academically I was able, but like, man, is it smart to be popping off as I do on social media, talking about all the things that I do? I don't know. To a lot of people, it's really dumb because it's like, it's going to take away opportunities and whatever. But to me, it's just like, I don't care to have those opportunities if I got to shackle myself. Now, is that smart or dumb? I don't know. But it's just how I'm living. That's the energy. And I think a lot of you fuck with that kind of energy too, which is what I really appreciate. We're gathering ourselves here, okay? Table Moments is going to be a place where you can think freely, have open discussions. We can argue with each other, disagree with each other on serious and stupid topics. And yet we could all get along. I don't know, I think we're doing something different here. And I'm attracting the same people on Instagram too. So it's very cool. It's very cool. And I appreciate all of you guys being a part of this. And I always hate when creators like my audience, it's not mine. I know this is borrowed time. This is a connection between all of us. And I think it is a community. And that's why I don't want, even though all you see is my face at this point, I want Table Moments to be bigger than me. So eventually, like, it'd be cool if we can like incorporate all the people who've been a part of this since the beginning. I remember all you day ones. I remember you. And it'd be cool to like actually do some big things for ourselves and maybe rock the world a little bit. I do that hat thing and I'm 61 years old. Good for you, man. As long as you own it, man. Bro, why are single moms so attracted to me? Are they? Maybe you have good father vibes? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of like, you don't, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough, I don't know, man. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Do you have like daddy vibes? It could be, man. It could be. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I don't think I could fuck with a girl with kids just because, like, I want to have kids of my own. So that's sort of my attitude with it. I know, it's easy to make. Here's the thing: if you have your own kids and then she has her own kids, it's like, all right, I guess it's as best a situation you can make out of that. It's like, all right, a blended family, cool. But like, if you're taking on her kids and they're with another dude, then you gotta like think about, okay, what happened with the father? If she's a widow and the father died, it's like, okay, I get that. That totally makes sense. And widows are an exception. But if you just divorce the guy, it's like, you chose him. So like, please. Like, what did Kevin Samuel say? He would always tell like women, look, why don't you try getting back with the father of your kids? Like it's good for the kids and you'll probably be more happy having it all work out. And here's the thing, I think you could turn the guys into someone she wants to be with. And I think this is where like the red pill stuff comes in. Like guys can save their marriages, they can save their relationships. They can become the patriarch in their families again. It just requires some like mental shifts and work that they're willing to, if they're willing to do it. But then this also requires a mental reframe that I think a lot of people aren't really prepared for. Women won't understand it, but I think men would. So that's what I would say. I want to be a dad, but my own kids. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Sir, you are late. Yeah, I know. I had technical issues with my YouTube and Twitch camera, and I just spent like an hour trying to like solve that. But whatever, my bad. Widows are okay. I agree. Yeah, widows are a different category. I want to adopt a child. Oh, good for you. Would you do something like some Asian kid or something wildly different from you? I never understand why like white couples do that. It's like, hey, let me get this African baby, and it's just like, what? Whatever. Which is funny. It gets into like one of the topics for this week. Video I posted. Black people who sound white. They tend to sound white. Those black people. So I posted that video on Instagram and TikTok, and it's already half a million views on Instagram. A lot of people did not understand what the jokes I was making because I was like, all right, when you're a black person who sounds white, you're every DEI officer's wet dream. When you're a black person who sounds white, of course, they feel safer around us, wouldn't you? Yeah, we're black people who sound white. Of course, we went to Afrotech this year. And so I just make a whole one of those like one of those trendy videos, and yeah, it's actually doing well on Instagram, which is nice to see, and a lot of people sharing it. And that's the one thing, if you're gonna make content out here, which please tell me if talking about content is too much, but I just like to share the journey. So if you guys are ever interested in it, you guys can do it yourselves too. Would you remarry if you divorce with kids? I don't see why not. Like, if it's a bad divorce, I get why people don't get married again. Yeah. But I have a different position on marriage than most people. So, yeah. Like, I even posted a video about, like, I hinted at it on one of my videos. You can get the rock, but not the paper. If you get it, you get it. That's how I feel about it. I'm pretty, if you've watched this stream, you'll know that I'm pretty anti-government, just on principle alone. I don't care about losing half your shit, whatever. Money, resources, they don't matter to me. If there needed to be an agreement, make sure everyone is straight in the event of this marriage going apart, breaking up, then we can handle that. That's an easy thing. But I guess prenups are cool. I mean, Sure. It's protection for him and her, I think. Well, I guess by default, just getting married is protection for her, but I don't know. Prenups seem fine. If I don't know, I don't feel one way or the other about it. If you want it, cool. If you don't, fine. But I can also understand people needing it for and making it a requirement. Because yeah, it kind of incentivizes the marriage to break up. Because you have to understand, like, incentives drive everyone. They motivate people, and so like literally, it's a payday by ending it. Are the laws on the books archaic and they need updating? Sure. Like, people don't even understand what they're signing up for when they get married legally, and so it's just like, what if there was a civil version of the marriage, or like a religious version of a marriage where it didn't actually involve registering with the state? It's just an agreement between you two to get married, and you can set the terms of that. That's technically a prenup, but it's a union between you and her, or her and him. And then if you're religious, under the eyes of God too. And that's all that's required. This whole idea, do you guys even know the history of like legalized marriage? It started off as a way to keep blacks and whites from marrying each other. If you knew. Yeah, so it has a dark history. You start seeing all the stuff that people accept as just part of the daily experience of modernity. You realize like a lot of this shit has some dark history. It's like, oh, they made the laws, marriage laws, and added benefits and privileges because they wanted to keep certain people apart. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then people don't even question it. So it's just like, and the funny thing is, people are so used to the way things are that they don't even bother to question it. They're like, but that's what it's supposed to be. And anytime I hear that shit, they can immediately miss me with that shit, because it's just like, oh, you're one of those that's just how it's done kind of people. And I'm not. I don't have that kind of energy. But yeah, look into it, man. Look into it. It's a dark history. It's a dark history. And then like even Planned Parenthood has a dark history too, and all the stuff that are like, people champion today, a lot of it has some really dark history. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I wish people bothered to look this stuff up. Now, does that necessarily mean it's dark now? I don't know. Like, a lot of people would say, yeah, marriage laws are, people don't even know what the laws are or what they're signing up for, which is the crazy part. It's like, it's so easy to get into, but it's impossible to get out of. It's like when you sign up for like a gym membership or some software membership or something. It's so easy to sign up and subscribe, but it's so hard to get out of it. You have to like mail them a letter. Like if you want to cancel your Planet Fitness subscription, you have to go in to one of their facilities. You have to actually sign up. You have to send a letter, actually, I think, to actually do it. So D1 Yapper, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I try. D1. I feel like I'm NBA level, but whatever. Yeah. So, but that's relationships and marriage, I guess, which people love talking about. I don't know. I think there's other things going on, and it'd be cool to just switch things up a little bit every now and then. Just like I don't know, the relationship stuff is interesting and it's on the top of a lot of people's minds, but I don't know, if you can find someone who gets you, right? Gets you. Here's the thing. I think part of being in a relationship or even long-term, whatever, is being honest about who you are, which a lot of people are uncomfortable doing. They're very uncomfortable doing that. And I get it, because it's like you feel like people are going to judge you. And I think women feel that judgment more than men do. So you keep things secret, you keep things to yourself, but then eventually, inevitably, it comes out because people regress to who they really are, and then they're surprised things don't work out. And then there's always this like sunk cost fallacy. People have been together for, the longer you've been together, the harder it is to end it for a lot of people. And that blows my mind. I'm just like, all right, so you're just going to suffer miserably longer and longer? Both of you. And that's, I don't know, man. Those multi-year relationship stuff does not make any sense to me at all. Like the longest relationship I was ever in is like about a year, like a year and a month, 13 months maybe. And Yeah, I don't know. I can't do that. Maybe that's just me though. However, I do have other topics to talk about. If I wonder if I could put a poll here. Like, would you guys say you're introverts or not? Quick poll. Ooh, clearly state your question. Actually, I'm not gonna fuck around with that. Yeah, so I posted a video today about introversion. Like, a lot of people want to call themselves introverts when they're not introverts because it's cool to identify as something now. It's just like, what? You're half and half? Oh no, you're one of those. I actually joke about that too. It's like, what's the introverted extrovert? What the fuck is that? Come on, you're one or the other. You can't be both. Or maybe because I also mentioned, like, I don't know, I just noticed a lot of people are like, oh, I'm introverted. But I'm like, I've seen you like in parties and shit. Like, I remember how it was in like house parties and stuff. Yeah, you can be, no, you can't. No, you can't. No. You can be very social around people who are close to you. Yeah, so that's a different thing. Like, then if it's only around people you're close with, and comfortable, then you're still an introvert. It's just you've established that bond with them, that you can be real and honest, and you can have a good time with them. But outside of that, like, yeah, then you're just an introvert. So I wouldn't say that's extroversion. It means you're social, but there's a time limit on being outgoing. Uh, Depends on who you with. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I am, and as a lot of people would describe, extremely introverted. Like, I don't need to hang out with people. Honestly, all the street interviews I've done as part of the content for Table Moments was literally just work for me. And then the funny thing is, one night we actually ran into some legitimately extroverted people, and one guy who was willing to just like grab the mic and start interviewing people. I'm like, holy shit, this is what an extrovert actually looks like. Because he was a fucking natural. He was like getting so much out of people and joking and joshing with them, and I was just like, that's not me. That's not me. So I was just like, damn. It's like, I'll never be that, and I don't care to be that either. It's fucking work for me, man. Um, let's see. Depends on who you with. Hello, what up, my guy? Hey, Jaden. What's good? You don't give me introvert? I am. I am. It's because I do live streams and stuff. This is content, and essentially this is me speaking to myself. That's what it feels like. Obviously, yeah, I'm riffing off of your comments and stuff, but like, if it was a conversation, like one of you guys on the live stream with me, then it would be more of a social drain for sure. This is just me talking to myself. That's what it feels like. So who knows? If this is a simulation, you guys could all just be a part of it, not actually real people. On the other hand, if it's not a simulation, then you guys are just here chilling on your phones, enjoying a guy yapping on camera. So life's getting better. Might work with Niantic soon. That's a game company, right? Niantic? Niantic. AR games. Cool. Good for you, man. All right. Yeah, so I am very introverted, by the way. And I don't know if that's even an attractive trait. Well, I guess if you are introverted yourself, then maybe you would. But if you're an extroverted person, it'll feel like an introverted person would just drag you down because, like, they don't want to go out and they're not trying to, like, do stuff. So it's all just about finding people who, like, are on the same wavelength. I get it, I guess. You don't know if we are real unless you see us in the flesh. Yeah. Although I have gotten a chance to meet like a couple of you guys in the flesh. It'd be cool to eventually, like, if we find the reason to justify like actually having a meetup, that'd be great. Maybe like Afrotech could be the place, or some other thing. I don't know, some other conference where we're all just gonna be there. Yeah, you definitely give me the vibes of social interaction. Yeah. When I was a child, I was extroverted, but as I get older, I become introverted. Yeah. Just can't tolerate the bullshit of the world anymore. Where am I based? Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas. Which, yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people are I don't know. The summers here suck, but the winter's been great. Like even today was a warm day. It was like high 60s. Didn't even need to wear a jacket or anything like that. So Texas is cool, I guess. But I mean, it is what it is. Name the conference and we'll show up. Yeah, I might just, dude, it would be so cool if we could just do like a whole Table Moments conference and it's just like an opportunity to like meet other people who just fuck with this rebellious spirit or who just like this whatever random shit I've been doing. That'd be so cool one day to just like, or like, not even a conference. What am I thinking? Like an expo or something. Been to Dallas before and I liked it there. Yeah, Dallas is cool. This is cool. But make sure it's somewhere cool. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can't do something that's boring, okay? I would want it accessible, so I think it has to be stateside, somewhere central, so anyone can get there. Texas might be interesting, but I'm thinking the venue has to be cool. And I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but it'd be really cool. Well, that was weird. I just saw a thumbs up on my video, whatever. But your first post on TikTok is about Palestine. People get brainwashed over there. Oh, brainwashed about what? Oh God! Please don't bring the the Middle East conflict here too, guys. I know you guys like it. Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Like in most comment sections, you'll see, depending on the creator, you'll see either one side or the other side. But here you get a chance to see both. Here you get. Yeah. You get a chance to see both. And you know what? I will unify this Middle East conflict here in the comment section, okay? Like, oh man. You know what's a funny thing? There are other like civil wars and major conflicts going on in Africa right now that you don't know about, especially in Cameroon right now. But you don't know about it. This week's episode, I actually got a chance to have a conversation with someone who messaged me on Instagram, and he's like Cameroonian, and we talk about it. It's just like, yeah, everyone's making about this, but there's bigger problems out here. Texas is doable. I'm actually considering moving there for the next school year. Okay. Congo, yeah. There's all this other conflict going on, but it's just like, what? Because it's black people don't care? And then you start realizing, oh, okay, why are people picking sides when it comes to the Middle East stuff, but they're not even aware of the other things happening in the world right now? That might be even more serious, because it's probably closer to what people's existence. But of course you realize, oh, all this is just based on perception, what you see and what you don't see, what they will show you and what they won't show you. And this is how fake news is really fake news. It's not that they lie. It's not that they mislead. It's not that they embellish. It's that they choose what you see and what you don't see. And what you don't see is often the things that you should be seeing. And so that's the worst part of fake news, when they don't talk about certain things. That's why whenever I see like stupid things in the news, like submarines that have like the billionaire submarine or UFOs, I'm like, no, there's probably something going on in the world that people should know that is just not being discussed, because either it's not interesting or there's some political agenda or some reason they're not sharing it with you. That's why I think all this is just such bullshit. And I know people get in their feelings about like the whole Middle East stuff right now, but it's just like, it's all propaganda at this point. I also have this, I have spicy video ideas too. Like I actually made a thumbnail. I like to start with the hook, title, and thumbnail of a video before I even consider making the video. And this one is kind of spicy. The title, it's a picture of a mom and a kid, one on the Palestinian side, one on the Israeli side, and then have the pictures in the background with the flag superimposed, translucent over it. And basically the title is Cradle Games, How Babies Are Used to Sell Wars. And it's like, it's a spicy topic. Oh man, no one's gonna be happy with that one, but I feel like it needs to be said. What do you guys think of that? How babies are used to sell wars. Do you think people just care, or is it just more of a suppression issue? I don't know about suppression. Oh, you mean about, do you think people just don't care, or it's more of a suppression issue? I don't know if it's either one of those. I think people want to care about something. It's just, it's all manufactured and manipulated. So it's like, it's the illusion of free will is what I'm thinking it is. People think It's they're deciding that which side is right, and then that this is the issue to have conflicts about. When and then as far as the suppression issue, it's I don't know. It just seems like a lot of it's motivated by some bigger things. It's not really about freedom or democracy or rights or liberty or anything like that. People like to pretend it's about those things, but it's not, because then they would care about other things, equivalent things that are happening in other parts of the world. Then you realize they're like, why this region? Why this specifically? And then you're just like, oh, okay, there's a lot of money involved here. There are resources here. Okay. Geopolitics and all that stuff. And it's like, whatever. And I try not to read into it too much. Like the reason probably isn't important. The fact that it's even happening and just pointing it out to people that, hey, there are other things going on. And there's the reason why this is the major thing in your life is because it's being pushed into your life. It's not by accident. And that's all I can actually explain. I can't tell you the real reason behind it. I mean, there's all this other stuff. It's a work problem, and that's what they're teaching kids, woke. It's really about total Zionist control and the establishment of Eretz Israel. I don't know. I don't know if there's much thought behind all this stuff. It's just, hey, they killed us. Hey, they killed us. We gotta win. I don't know. When it comes to the Palestinian stuff, I'm just like, why y'all start this? Did you really think you could win this fight? That's the crazy part. You know what? It reminds me of like, have you ever dated a girl who like picked fights with dudes, expecting you to come in and fight for her when things escalated? That's what it feels like. And I'm just like, why? It's like, oh no, but that's Hamas. They're different things. Like, that's your people, man. You should police your own, but whatever. And then the Israeli says, I'm not going to say the Israeli side is a good side, all right? Because I've seen some of the fucked up things they've done too. Okay, especially with their African immigrants. Yeah, you can look it up. It's fucked up. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna wipe my hand clean of this shit. I don't want anything to do with the other side. I don't want anything to do with it. Alex, what does it mean? Big words for me. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, you're talking about Alex's comment. Okay, great. It's what the two blue stripes on the Israel flag mean from Euphrates to the sea. Okay. Beautiful meaning. Greater Israel. I don't know. But it's just like, everyone, yeah, you look into the history of both sides and you realize they've both done some fucked up things. And then it's just like, who's the good guy? There is no good guy. There is no good guy. Like, and then you find this to be true in most conflicts in the world. Honestly, it really depends. Like, who the good guy is, it's often dependent on the morality of the historian telling it to you. And then the side that they're on. And then you realize, oh, okay. They've all done shady shit. But don't you think mega corporations and huge monopolies have an agenda? I don't know if it's an overt agenda. It's just, it does definitely align with their pocketbook, for sure. Like, I don't think, like for the George Soros types, I don't know if they're like actually trying to bring down the downfall of the country and the world, but and I can definitely see people saying, look, a lot of their actions, funding all these prosecutors and all these races or whatever, is effectively doing that because they're letting criminals go free, and that leads to crime in areas and safety issues and whatever. But it's like, I think it's just, they think this is a good thing, and they're disconnected. I try not to attribute too much malice behind their actions, because honestly, it's just people who think their ideas work when they don't. They're just wrong. And that's a harder thing to accept, that these motherfuckers are just wrong about implementation. And everyone on any side of this stuff, even like corporations and monopolies, corporations constantly justify to themselves the behaviors that they do, the actions that they take, all that seem to align with how much money they make. And then you realize it's like, oh, is this like coordinated from the top down, like some guy, some mastermind? It's like, no, they're all just moving in the direction of like more prosperity for themselves at the cost of others. And so like, I know this from firsthand experience. I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, and some of the things they justified. And even though I was working for like one of the better ones, even then, Like, I could tell you guys some stories if you guys want. Put a one in the chat if you want to hear some pharmaceutical stories, or at least some situations, some really fucked up like incentive problems that happen in pharmaceuticals. Everything planned. If like got too boring, they'd start a war. Crying out loud, life. Okay, that's where if I get yeah, it's hard to read. If I get autocorrected again. Do I play basketball? Not in a while, man. Please, I'm listening. Okay. So I used to work for this company. I'm not going to name any names because I don't really care to deal with any legal issues, but this one's public. Company I used to work for made a drug to help that effectively cured old age blindness. It's called wet AMD. And this is what happens as people get older. They tend to start losing vision in their eyes because of vascularity in the back of their eyes starts growing. And there's this thing called VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factors, that the body seems to emit to help repair itself and stuff, but it makes these blood vessels grow bigger. When it happens to the back of the eye, it actually impairs your vision. And so what they did was made this drug, this VEGF trap, essentially, that captured that thing, and so like shrunk those vessels, and then people would be able to see again. It works. The drug works, but it's an expensive drug, and they have to get it almost like every 6 to 8 weeks. And it's an eye injection. They literally put a needle in their eyes and put the medicine in there. Now, the company I was working for was just launching. Okay, this was before my time, but they were just entering the market. Okay, and there had already been other drugs on the market. But the price of this drug is like $2,000 a vial. Yeah, it's an eye injection, yeah. But I mean, if you're basically like going blind, it's like a huge quality of life improvement, being able to see again. So yeah, it's kind of, but it works, okay? And so it's like a $2,000 price tag per vial, essentially. So you can imagine, like, oh man, how do people afford it? Well, a lot of this is for old age. Remember that, old age, and primarily people who are like over 65. They have Medicare, and so the government is what's paying it. Now, the government has a rule for drug pricing. Patients have to pay 20% copay of the sticker price of the drug, or what they're going to be paying for. Yeah, it's going there. And so what's 20% of $2,000? I think it was 20%. Yeah, so we're talking like $400, right? Well, no, I think they gave a discount to the government. So essentially it was like between $200 and $400 that someone had to come out of pocket every, let's say, couple months, which for a lot of people on fixed income is too expensive. Now, good thing is there was a charity that popped up to like help pay this copay to cover this, and this charity receives funds, turns out, from pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, it gets real fucked up. But here's the thing: there's a rule, like you can't manipulate it, because it is the government paying for the bulk of the pricing of the drug. Then you can't basically defraud the government out of these payments, okay? And so you can donate to this charity, but you can't dictate how the charity spends the money. So they can apply it to whatever drugs is on the market that treat this thing. And since this pharmaceutical company I was working for was just launching this drug, it was actually really important that this became a successful drug, because the finances of the company weren't so hot, okay? And so they were donating, and then these fuckers, like, stupidly started consulting with each other at the company, figuring out, all right, how much can we donate and what would be the return on investment of that? They actually did this. And then guess what? They even wrote it in emails. They put together PowerPoint presentations of like, all right, well, if we donate this much, we can expect at least this much to get to be funded towards our drug, which will cover the copays, and then this is what will be reimbursed. So essentially the ROI will be this. And they were like working with the charity to figure out what this ideal donation amount would be. And so they got the emails, they got the PowerPoints, and then they even got fucking testimony of people who were involved in this whole thing. And essentially that's Medicare fraud. And it's funny because like the person who was responsible at the company who did this, eventually by the time this case ended up coming out like a couple years ago, years after this had actually happened. And then it turns out the guy already retired and everything. So the guy wasn't even part of the company anymore. And then I remember even talking with like some coworkers when this thing came out, because I actually read the criminal complaint. It's public. You can read it yourself. And so I read it. I read through the whole thing. I'm like, they have a smoking gun here. Like the company actually did this. They did this shady ass shit to make sure that they were successful. Which, I mean, if your company's life or death, you can justify anything. Like if you don't make your numbers at that time when launching this new drug, the company might not exist because they would have gone out of business. So they needed this to work. And so they cut corners and they committed Medicare fraud. And then I was talking to a coworker and they're like, oh yeah, can you believe this stuff? All of it's bullshit. And I was like, wow, you didn't even read the criminal complaint. And so it's like even the employees who worked there could not be honest about the company that they were working for. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Jaden, AI is predicted to get to what I imagine to be in 10 years. Okay. All these companies are in a race to get the AI to talk, think, and do everything. Yeah, they're trying. There's a term for this discovery that will change humanity forever. It would be, you mean the singularity? It would remove money and so-called abundance would happen and everyone would enjoy life. That'd be great. So my point system might have been a good guess, maybe. It is insane. It is insane, Creed. Here's another crazy story. There's a company, a competitor to the company I was working for, who makes a similar medication. Who actually doesn't make a similar medication. Well, they do make a similar medication specifically to treat this thing that they price at about the same price as the company I was working for. But here's the funny thing: this competitor also makes this cancer drug, which effectively works the same way when you dilute it. So it's like made for the liver or something. Effectively, it works the same way. And so what third-party like manufacturers do is they buy the cancer drug, they dilute it, and then they put it into these small vials specifically for this treatment of the eye stuff. And you might be thinking, oh, it's a cancer drug, but effectively it works the same thing. And they call this off-label use of medication. It was never intended. It didn't go through FDA approval to actually be used this way, but it's technically legal to take medication, repackage it, dilute it, and use it for this application. And it turns out when you do that, and the cancer drug costs like $37,000 or something, but if you dilute it and you use it for eye treatment and you put it in vials, you can actually make what would normally be a $2,000 drug cost $50. And so it's a huge cost savings. But the company who makes this cancer drug chose not to go through FDA approval because one, it would cost them like about $5 million to actually go through the process of getting this approved. And it would cut into their other drug that they're already selling for like $2,000. So it's just like the incentives aren't there. And then who has the incentive to take this off-label use and run clinical trials, which are very expensive, by the way. You have to find the labs, you have to find the universities and scientists who are willing to be a part of the study. Then you have to give them and supply them the drug for free. Then you have to collect all the information and then run phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials, which are all just coming out of pocket. You don't make any money on that. And then you submit all your data to the FDA and then also pay the FDA a huge sum of money to review your data for them to give you a thumbs up or thumbs down. And if they give you a thumbs up, then it's approved for marketing. You can actually sell the drug. And the company who makes this cancer drug that gets diluted has no incentive to do that. So the most in use, abundant use of medication for this wet AMD blindness that people have is an off-label use of a cancer drug. It's like 60% of the market. And then the remaining 40% is what the competitor and the company I used to work for, that's how they make all their money, selling this one for Medicare and stuff like that. So it's crazy. It's like people have no idea the incentives that are at play on all this stuff. It's wild. Maybe I should make a video about it. I don't know. But it's like very complicated, you know? There's a point where the AI will snap a life and life will change like that. I don't know if that's gonna happen. It will know how to make components we could never thought of. It will make new things in a blink. I can see them like discovering new like chemical compounds or proteins. That would be interesting. That'd be really interesting. Like I know that was a problem with like COVID, trying to come up with like new antibodies. Effectively, whatever, I don't have to get into it. What's good, my boy? What's the topic today? Right now, we're talking about the incentive problems in pharmaceutical companies and how perverse they can be. It's crazy how this discovery will change everything. Trying to get the name of it. Kobe, DM me the weirdest videos. I'm so fascinated about all this. Good for you, man. But yeah, pharmaceuticals is weird, dude. It's weird. But I was thinking, here's the thing. I wish our billionaires did fun things and interesting things like this. Like for this off-label use of medication, this cancer drug for this eye treatment that technically isn't FDA approved, that optometrists and eye doctors have to buy from third-party manufacturers who repackage this stuff and then have to explain to their patients that this isn't technically the use of this stuff, but it will work the same way at a fraction of the cost. It would be cool if some billionaire out there is just like, hey, I'll fund this clinical trial for this off-label use of this drug and then get it FDA approved. That would be a cool thing, and not for the purpose of making money. It just needs to exist. And then now people feel safe taking it because people really give a fuck about the FDA. I don't know. So, thoughts to prevent recession, workers must go back to the office. Larry Fink, BlackRock. Really? Oh, hell no, I'm out. What do you mean? Did someone say that? I don't know. The whole back to the office thing. I don't know. It depends. If you have the discipline to be able to work from home, what's the incentive for the eye doctors, I wonder? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some incentives depending on the number of scripts that they write. But for a lot of them, they understand their patients don't have other options. They can't afford, because it's think about it. Medicare is our tax money, right? Your salary. You can see that line item in your pay stub. And these companies can charge $2,000 when there is a $50 alternative on the market that's just off-label use. But it's 60% of the market share. So a lot of doctors explain this. Now, for people where this isn't, because you have to use it every 4 weeks instead of every 6 to 8 weeks, if that's an issue for a particular patient, then it makes sense. It's good that there are options, but the fact that people don't even know off-label use of medication is a thing, and it's often, it's not often, but it does happen in medicine a lot, would be, I don't know, to let people know. And even then, when people think it's FDA approved, it's FDA approval means you have the right to sell the drug and market the drug. And these pharmaceutical companies can give away the drug for free and probably be legally fine. They don't have to get FDA approval to give drugs away for free. That's how they do clinical trials. Clinical trials, they don't charge for the drugs. And obviously there's a lot of rules involved in that, but thoughts on muckraker findings on Zuckerberg's bunker doomsday? Is that a real thing? I feel like the guy can afford, I don't know. Think about it this way. Zuckerberg is a doomsdayer. He is a prepper. Zuckerberg is a prepper. If that's one way to look at it, and just okay. I don't know if that necessarily means we should all freak out, but hey, there are preppers around you who live in local communities who have a bunker, and it turns out maybe even billionaires do the same thing. Is that kind of that movie on Netflix? I don't know. Neuralink already is working, and they thought it would. People think, and the idea pops in their head. AI and Neuralink are crazy. At this point, you can make movies and animations with audio with one prompt. Interesting. $200 million bunker. 231 million? Okay. Craft's evolving quickly, man. What time is it for you? It is 9:48 for me. It's 9:48. Oh, man. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. Yeah, it's 9:48. Yeah, but it's just wild, man. Incentives really do play a big role. And then people like to assume all this malicious stuff. It's not. I think it's just people doing what's good for themselves and their companies. And it turns out it usually comes at the expense of either the employees or the customers. Which I was listening to someone explaining how this wasn't always the case. This is a recent phenomenon where, and they try to explain like people like to explain the corruption of companies based on like public markets and stuff like that. But there were public markets before, back in the day, that didn't behave this way. I think this is a product of the internet. The fact that we can get information instantaneously dictates the way people can behave. When you're fearful that bad information can make your stock price drop, which can affect your lending and your ability to raise capital for future infrastructure improvements or capital expenditures, then you get really sensitive, especially if you're like a company that heavily depends on capital expenditure, like actual like machines and stuff like that, where like you guys would be surprised like how thin a lot of these margins for these big businesses are, especially if they work in the world of atoms where they have to make real things. Like they borrow the money and then they make the product, then they sell the product, and then they pay the money back, and then what's left over is how much money they make. Like a lot of airlines, a good year is if that number at the end of the year is positive. And then you realize like, oh, they don't make most of their money from actual giving flights and services. They make their money from the rewards program. And you're like, whoa. And it's like, yeah, airlines are not. They're a transportation they're a rewards credit program disguised as a transportation company. It's crazy how all this works, man. What do you do for work? You look like you carry an iPad and draw animation in cafe while promoting media. I do whatever I want. I earn money every now and then, but I'm trying to make this a sustainable thing. I've been also like working on software, so I have some ideas. I don't know. I'm not sure what my future holds right now. So that's the thing. I'm like deciding like all this social media stuff. I think I could apply to other domains too, but I haven't found anything where I'm just like, I want to work on that. Other than this. So that's what I'm doing. As far as like living expenses and stuff, I have money saved. So that's how I've been living. Bro has like psychiatrist look. Yeah, like some sort of like I work in medicine in some way. Yeah, but it's interesting. I don't know. I have the freedom to like choose what I want to work on and where my life is headed, which, man, it'd be awesome to give this same opportunity to other people out there who are like, man, I always wanted to do this thing, or I was meant to do something else, and they just can't. Do I have any topics for tonight? Yeah, I do. Here are some of the topics. Introversion. So what introversion or introverted actually is. What the hell is this bubble? Wow, that's weird. Unfunny. So like 20% of people do not have a sense of humor, and I'm finding that out through Instagram and the comments I've been getting from viral videos. Another topic is sounding white. Black people who sound white. I made a whole satirical video about it, explaining like all the stereotypes when it comes to being black and being a black person who sounds white. And a lot of people got the joke. A lot of people were taking the video way too seriously. And so that's an interesting topic. Like why, because the only time I've ever heard sounding white being a problem and people even mentioning it is from other black people. White people have never, and then some people in the comments were mentioning like, white people say you sound articulate and stuff. So it's a whole thing. For white people, you get weird comments, and then from black people, you get teasing and harassment. And then another thing is Hot Crazy Matrix. That was a joke video I posted on TikTok, and then fridge, how a refrigerator actually works. You post on Instagram, like meme thing or random thoughts. I post the same stuff I post here. Actually, I post fewer there on Instagram. Like the polished videos where I write a script and I record the video and edit it. Those are the things I post on Instagram. I do a bunch of stitches here, but also I post the edited videos here too. But they've been doing numbers on Instagram, man. And you know what's funny? The thing I really love about the content I've been making is The videos are interesting themselves, but I think my comebacks and my wit in the comment section is way more entertaining than just the video itself. So like my brother constantly goes through these comment sections, he's like, yo, you fucking dying in these comments. Because I know how to crack jokes. It's like the dozens for me. And I really enjoy that process where I can just make fun of people if they're giving smoke, or like crack a joke if people are taking it too seriously, or make fun of people if they deserve to be made fun of, whatever. And it's a good time. It's a good time. So yeah, I'm on Instagram, table.moments, if you want to check out. Like the video that's doing numbers right now is the black people who sound white stereotype. Yeah, table.moments. And yeah, it's funny. It's funny. And I even have some interesting videos lined up. So like, for instance, here's another thing. Did you know you can buy money? You can buy money. I know that sounds like a weird statement, but you can buy uncut money. So like bills, like dollar bills and shit, you can buy it as a sheet from the US Mint. And I actually bought some money from the US Mint, and I'm gonna make a video about it. But this sheet of money I bought is a special piece because it's a $2 bill. And it's real money. It's a sheet of $2 bills, 16 $2 bills in one sheet that are uncut. And I was going to relate it to the bigger idea of the video is inflation. Like, you know, you hear this word in the news a lot and your friends talk about it, but you don't really know what they mean. This video will explain it to you. This is real money. This is a sheet of $2 bills, uncut. Yes, it's real money. Yes, you should be able to take this to any store and they should accept it. Now it looks funny because it hasn't been cut into single bills, but it's real money. And you can buy this from the US Mint. And so I did. And then I want to include it as part of the purchase of these wallets that eventually I'll be selling on TikTok Shop and on the website. I want to include a $2 bill. So instead of a $1 bill here, it'll be a $2 bill. And it's legit money because it's real money. So that's a video idea I have in the tank. And then I was going to explain the whole thing and then explain inflation and how all that stuff. Can you just hand the sheet to a person and they accept the whole sheet uncut? They should be. Like, it's still money. It would look shady. That's the problem. Yeah. The only problem would be is like people wouldn't accept it. But I think that would also be a hilarious video where you go out to dinner and then when the waiter comes, you just give them like a whole sheet of dollars. Yo, that's a crazy idea. I think I got to do it, man. You are printing money. Yes, that's what they would say. It's just like, yeah, that's real money. And then I also thought it would be a cool flex because you can get this in different denominations, right? You can get uncut $1 bills, $2 bills, $5, $10, $50, even $100 bills. You can get uncut, a sheet. So I was also thinking literally today, like, you know how people do these like TikTok videos where they're like, do you want to take this box or would you take $50 or whatever's in this box? You know, those offerings. But instead, what if you had a box, but you wrapped it in like an uncut $100, like it's wrapping paper, right? And you wrap the box in, like, you can feel the box if you want, see if you want the box, or do you want like 20 bucks here? And then they can shake the box or whatever and then be like, there's nothing in here. It's like, do you want the box or not? And people are like, no, I'll just take the 20 bucks. Leaving literally because an uncut sheet of $100 bills is like $1,600. But they would leave it because it's in plain sight and it looks like wrapping paper. I think that would be a hilarious video to make, dude. So you bought money in exchange for money. How do they make profit? They upcharge you for the uncut sheets. $2 bills are usually a novelty item, so people buy it for the holidays. So they're actually out of stock right now. Luckily, I made my order before they were, but it's technically $32 worth of money because it's 16 $2 bills, but I had to pay $66 for that. So essentially, I'm paying twice as much for those $2 bills. So essentially, I paid $66, but it's worth $32. So essentially, I paid $34 for that. So they make money on it. It's a novelty thing, specifically for the $2 bills. Now, for the $1 bills, the $10 bills, the $50 bills, they're not that much of a markup. But yeah, you can go. The US Mint, you can actually buy this if you want to. But I thought it would be cool, like, if I can include $2 bills as part of like selling these wallets here, these thin minimalist wallets. It's yeah, dude. I think it's hilarious, and obviously it's going to be a great hook because I could just show a sheet of $2 bills and like, this is real money, guys. I swear to God, you can actually buy this yourself from the U.S. Mint, and then talk about inflation and stuff. Who has replaced Kevin Samuels? I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone has. There's some people who are trying, who have their own niches where they just speak to men, and then there are some. I don't know if anyone speaks specifically to black women anymore. They lost their hero, King Kofi. They lost their hero. He was really doing God's work out here. Unfortunately, man, untimely death. He spoke well of him. Yeah, I think he told people what they needed to hear, not what they wanted to hear. And yeah, people will have a problem with his messaging style. And it's like, oh, if you want people to be receptive, it's like, no. When you're telling truth to people, I don't think it's worth tailoring it so people are more receptive to it. No, people who are ready to receive the message will hear it however it is. And then people who are too sensitive about how he's saying it aren't ready for the message. So move on. Like, what did Jesus say? Don't cast pearls onto pigs. A lot of people out here are pigs. It just is what it is. He is what people needed, indeed, for sure. He was this older black gentleman on YouTube and pretty much any social platform where he was basically telling his target audience, I think, was the black community, but specifically black women seemed to get the most out of it because he was keeping it real with them. He was keeping it real with black dudes too. That was his older content. And then finally, when he started communicating with black women, he started getting some traction online and blew up like hella quick. What's the highlight of his career that sticks out for you? I mean, what was that line he said to that woman that blew him up? A 6 at best. Yeah, that's unforgettable, dude. Oh man, when that was making the rounds, bro, you're a 6 at best. It's like, yo, savage. Now people are doing it. Here's the funny thing. Back then, people did not have the cojones to say that to women to their face online and everything. Now people are like, oh yeah, you're this, you're that, you're not this. It's like, oh, you're just a blah, blah, blah. And so like all these guys are, I don't know. It's easier to say when you're not the first. But when you're the first person who says it publicly and it's just like, you're a 6 at best. What are you talking about? He gave a lot of content to just people in general, yeah. Yeah, 6 at best. That was a crazy rise up too. But good for him. At least what? Man, dude. I don't know. And then he died. How old was he when he died? Kevin Samuels, age at death. Let's see. Damn, he was 53, bro. That's crazy, bro. People also search for Tommy Lauren. Why? Omar Johnson. Okay. Andrew Tate, Stephen A. Smith. What? Brittany Renner. What? Nia Long and Ricky Smiley? I don't know. I don't know why people would search for those things. Damn, 2022. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. High blood pressure. Was rushed to a hospital where he later died. According to the medical examiner report, Samuels had hypertension, which contributed to his death. Guys, get your blood work done. I walk a lot. I don't know if that's helpful for hypertension, but diet and exercise I think is useful for that. Andrew Tate is mostly similar to him. I disagree. Kevin Samuels was a whole other level. Because of the narrative and the storytelling, he had the skills of being able to say. Andrew Tate can speak, but then he has repetitive things and he's been, yeah. But like Kevin Samuels, man, there was one stream where he started talking about the Avengers and relating it to like all the different types of professional women you could run into. And I was just like, yo, who does that? You talk about the Avengers and you're like, oh, this is the Iron Man type. This is the Thor type of woman. This is the Hulk type of woman or whatever. I was just like, yo, and he weaved it so seamlessly. And I'm like, he had to have prepared that. And yo, it was just so good. I was like, he was a whole other level, dude, in terms of just narrative and storytelling. Yeah, it's helpful to control your sodium. Yeah, man, that is a shame. Yeah. Up potassium. Yeah, more bananas. I remember that from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I think that's the movie. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Oh man, it sucks for his family. And his middle name was Rashawn, apparently, if Wikipedia is to be trusted. Yeah. Man. I don't know. You guys have anything you want to talk about, or I could just keep yapping if you guys want. I don't have much outside of this prepared. Just had to deal with some technical issues before coming on, and just putting in my weekly live streaming session. I think I figured out Instagram too, which is really cool. Because I didn't know Instagram comments could be interesting too. For the longest time, I thought that Instagram was so dumb, because all you would get was the stupid fire emojis or like other stupid emojis in the comment section. Now I get actually like thoughtful comments or hate or love and people giving their perspectives. I'm like, oh, okay, there are decently smart people on Instagram, which I didn't know. I had no idea. But I'm finding them slowly, surely, which is cool. The gram, let's see. I posted a video today about introverts, and I think it could get to, I don't know. I don't like making predictions. Yeah, it's already at 3,000 in just a few hours. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, building an audience. Now the question is like, how do we turn this into something interesting? Because it's like over 100,000 across platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's over 100,000 people who subscribe or follow the idea of table moments. And what do we do with this now? It's a cool metric, I guess, but whatever. Now it's like, can we do something interesting here? Can we start something cool? I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, please let me know. It'd be cool to promote people. Like, I found a guy who actually makes some really good artwork, but he doesn't sell prints. So it'd be cool if like I could set up a print system for him, or at least stateside, so he can submit his art, and then we can actually like put money in his pocket and then give you guys some really cool African inspired art, which I think is really cool. I also DM'd a guy on Instagram who is a black guy who drives monster trucks. It's so cool, bro. It's so cool. It's like people do some of the craziest stuff here. It's just like, yo, that's wild. That'd be cool to like connect all these people. It's like, how'd you get into monster truck driving? That's a cool that's a cool guest too to have. But yeah. So let's see. I don't know, what's on your mind, guys? Man, software issues always suck. They always suck. And like everything has to be a SaaS these days. Everything has to be a subscription, including adding basic things that used to be basic features are now all subscriptions. Because it's like, hey, if we can print money, why wouldn't we do that instead? Instead of charging someone one time, why don't we charge them every month in perpetuity, as long as they want to use our product? So I'm dealing with this issue with my camera. And it's just like, I thought Canon was one of the better companies, but the fact that they're doing this kind of like turned me off a little bit. And I think they probably contracted with like some third party to make the software, and maybe made some deal with them that they had to let them turn it into a subscription system. But I'm kind of tired of it. I'm kind of tired of everything requiring like paying a monthly subscription, especially if it's something that isn't going to change in the long term. Like, do we really need a subscription service for your security camera? Do you really need a subscription service for like, I don't know, what's other stuff? You should change your name to Debate Sphere or Discussion Nation. I don't know. Do we debate here? I don't think we debate here, man. We just talk about interesting stuff, about whatever comes up and whatever you guys are thinking about and whatever I have written down, prepared for talking. Like, I don't know. Because I see a lot of people, oh my God. I go through this stuff. I see other content creators and I'm just like, lazy. You have no idea. From my side, I can see how lazy they are. I can see it. You guys don't see it because you kind of have to know the game. But like these people who are like, there's one guy who's like MAGA people are racist. I'm like, okay, so debate me basically. And I'm just like, wait, so how's someone gonna prove that someone isn't racist? You can't prove a negative. And so it's just like the whole thing is doomed from the beginning. But then, so then what are you supposed to get out of the conversation? It's just like, that's why I like what we're doing here. It's like we can be open-minded. We could talk about whatever we want. We're not gonna assume like people are bad people just because they believe something. Like I recently just saw like Kanye go on his rant after the whole his show with the Backstreet Boy track and everything like that, and he was dropping stuff, man, and people weren't getting it. And there was this one lady in there who just kept interrupting. It was like, yes, Kanye, we love you. It's like, oh, it's not like, it's like, girl, shut up, I'm on a flow. And I oh my God, that is so annoying. It's just like everyone, it's a WSP Chrome Dome, remember me? What's WSP? Chrome Dome? I don't know if I remember you, but I remember the energy for sure. Is it what's up? Is that short for what's up? Yeah, okay. I don't know. Like, I don't know this internet shit, man. I'm turning 34 next year. You gotta spell it out for me, man. Yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing? What's on your mind, bruh? Anything I could help you out with? Maybe I should just like put a prompt here and say, any questions? Damn, my cousin's 34. Yeah. Do I look 34? I feel like I could pass for, I don't know, I feel like I can pass for 40. Not bad. Passed all my finals with A's. Good for you, man. Good for you. College or high school? And I guess the winter break's coming up, so what are you going to be doing for the next 2 weeks? Man, because I was thinking about the school year, like, you guys start school earlier and end later. I look 34? Cool. All right, I'll take that. I'll take that. It'd be cool if I looked a little older, but I don't know. I feel like I look older, though. We're heading to Miami for the summer. Nice. You're going to deal with all those BBLs? I don't know. How do you guys feel about BBLs? I'm not really into that body type. No, I like thin black girls. That's my thing. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I feel like this is a psyop, guys, where they're like, ooh, the Brazilian butt lift, you know, where they go to Miami to get the surgeries to like put implants in their ass cheeks, I guess. I don't know why. And then it's funny because like you're not supposed to sit on a chair after you've had the surgery. So they've, I think, retrofitted some buses so that they can lay these people down as they transport them home. It's a whole thing, dude. I remember talking about it on the podcast and it was just funny. So, plus I'm not an ass guy, so I guess it doesn't do much for me. I know. I'm black, but I'm not an ass guy. And okay, I'm in college in second year. Oh, good for you. Yeah. I don't know. BBLs are, I don't know. Am I mixed? No. My ethnicity comes from East Africa. So that's why I might look different from black, you know? But what is a BBL? Yeah. Brazilian butt lift. Yeah. I don't know. Some of the things, I feel sorry for women a lot of the time, like the lengths they have to go to, or the lengths some of them feel like they have to go to be attractive, or at least feel attractive. Man, that sucks, guys. I appreciate being a dude, because like, I don't have to worry about makeup. I don't really groom other than like take showers and comb my beard every now and then. Like, I don't moisturize it. Obviously, I could use a shave, but like, man, it's gotta suck being a girl sometimes, I guess. Why do the East look different? I don't know. I think it's because there's a mix of Arab in the ethnicity. It's a blend between African and Arab. Because literally, like, it's the Red Sea that separates like Saudi Arabia from basically large parts of Eastern Africa. West Africa here in Morocco. Hey, you guys got pretty far in the World Cup, right? I like girls being all natural. Yeah, I think here's the thing. I actually thought about this. Like, makeup is lying. Makeup is lying. So I know a lot of women might not feel that way, but it is not how you look. MySpace angles are also lying because that's not how you look. And plus, do you want to be with someone who only will accept you when you have your face caked up with makeup? Now, I know women are going to give some nuance here and be like, it's not a lot of makeup, it's just touch-ups and whatever. But I don't know, I've been with women who don't need makeup. And yeah, I prefer all natural too. Jaden. Yo, finals is over. Good for you, man. How do you think you did on your test? It's been a while since you've been on here, bro. A dude. What do you mean, a dude? I have finals tomorrow. Oh, shit. Are you ready for them? Should you be on this live or should you be studying? And what do you have to study? South Asian, Pakistani? Okay. Cartoon Nerd app is greater than Netflix. What's a Cartoon Nerd app? Yeah, go study, man. Like, if you got finals tomorrow, we'll catch you next week, bro. Like, you really don't have to be here right now. Yeah, I'm with Curry on this one. Go study. I remember doing a lot of all-nighters in college, man. I don't recommend them, but you do what you got to do, man. I remember studying, like I studied engineering, and I also lived in a house with a bunch of other engineers, and they would do study sessions. Like it's like we had a common area on the first floor, and then we all had our dorms on the second floor. But people want to study together, and so they're all huddled around in the common area, and we had a whiteboard there. But then you realize they're not actually studying. They're all staying up, just talking, conversing, socializing, but they're not studying. I would be upstairs in my dorm room with headphones on and just doing practice problems all night. And then every now and then I'd come downstairs to like refill my water bottle or grab a snack or whatever and just see them, and they haven't done shit. I'm just like, yo, the point of studying is to study, not to just hang out, but whatever. Now I'm good, or I'm just gonna enroll into the Marines. Come on, man. You could try. I start school on January 17th. I'm very nervous. GED to BS, MS, MA, now Okay. Why are you nervous? It seems like you have a lot of experience, though. I was the only person who passed algorithms. Nice. Wait, so everyone else failed? That's crazy. I'm already on a list to go to war if anything happens. I mean, aren't we all? All men are registered on the drafts. Unless you're on a short list that's even more whatever. Ladies, by the way, did you know every man in your life that you know signs up for selective service when they're 18 or on the eve of their 18th birthday? We all get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you have to sign up for selective service in the event that they need to draft us to go fight for the defense of the country. We are on that list to be randomly selected. Because gathering newfound research for a doctorate sounds intimidating, LMAO. My girl's doing a PhD in public health related to corporal punishment, actually. So, yeah, I know what you mean, man. Because you are basically, we always talk about her work, and yeah, it is, you are pushing. You're trying to find something and create something new here. I want to go into the SRT program. What's the SRT? Is that like Space Force or something? Marines SRT. Wait, nope. SRT. What's SRT? What is SRT? Special Reaction Team? Okay. Curriculum and psychology? Okay. Seriously, you can walk around school without getting talked to. You can't walk around school without getting talked to an enlister. I got 15 cards from them in a week. Damn. Wow, they're really out here trying to. Okay. They'd be like, have you considered? Yeah. I thought about curriculum and instruction. What do you teach? Oh, that's 4. Yeah, they were passing the class before he changed the finals grade. Damn, that sucks, dude. So they got to take the class again? Oh, man. I remember my my orbital mechanics course. That was a tough course. I did better than average. And out of 100 points for the final, I think the average test score was like 11. It was wild, bro. But somehow I scored like 15, 16 or whatever. So I ended up passing the class. Actually doing well in the class. I think I got like an A- or something. Maybe a B. I don't remember. Homeland Security Educator in English class K-12. All right, nice. My final in math is worth 50% of my grade. I ain't passing it. Come on, man. You can study. Yeah, they gotta retake that shit. Fuck, dude. That's the worst. You just spent 10, 12 weeks taking a course that you gotta retake because of the final, which, I don't know. For those of you who aren't familiar with STEM and classes, like your entire grade is essentially your midterm and your final. Like homework is, if it's ever worth anything, it's like 10% of your grade. And so that's what I was used to. So it's like we had a midterm and a final, and that was it. Have you ever thought about starting a podcast? Are you talking to me? I do have a podcast. This is what this is. This is a podcast page. If you're talking to me, nah. We actually had a guest. I actually had a guest this next week's. We're publishing an episode next week. I haven't been consistent about posting because I need to find guests for the podcast. If you want to be a guest, DM me. And Jaden, I think you might be interested in talking about AI a lot. We talked about the extra activity podcast with experiments and challenges. Oh yeah. I thought that would be great for him. Yeah, I'm a business major, accounting and international business, but I go to Cornell, so it's as easy as most think. So it's as easy as most think. Huh. Okay. Cool. But yeah. It's not as easy. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. So, and the PhD thing it's definitely an interesting path. That was possibly part of my life journey. And then after I started working, I realized I do not want to do all that. I have three choices. I either work for Niantic, Vertigo Games, or I work for myself. Yeah, I don't know. If you get a job at Niantic, it might be worth it. Pokemon Go, right? I haven't heard of Vertigo Games, but it can't hurt to get some experience in industry. But you have to make sure you don't lose your soul as part of it. Or if they have like a startup vibe where they really are going to push you to learn a lot really quickly, that's always advantageous despite the money. Whether they pay you a lot or not, I think if they're willing to push you and teach you a lot, I think it's worth it. I think being a guest would be cool, but there's nothing interesting about me. I make the conversations interesting, okay? And people, there's always something interesting about you, man. There's always going to be something. I think because we've had a bunch of different people who might not feel interesting themselves come on the podcast, and we've talked about it. And like even this week was like some kid who just graduated high school. And then through conversation, we'll figure out like what's important to you, the things that you care about or you're passionate about. Because if you dig deep enough and you have conversations long enough, you'll find that people can talk about something at length, about something in particular that's important to them, whether they realize it or not. And I've been able, through practice of doing like over 100 podcasts, be able to get that out of people. So it's unstructured, it's relaxed. We just talk through Discord, audio only, so you don't even have to show your face. And we just talk about whatever. And this week's coming episode, I haven't edited it yet, but it spans a few paths. We talk about music, we talk about like the culture and what music has done. We talk about like the propaganda that's happening in the news and all that stuff. And this is by like a kid who just graduated high school. Okay, so I think it's cool. And then we also talk about like DC, the DMV area and stuff like that, and people repping in music and stuff like that. It started in Boston, LA, Boston. School is University of New England. Okay. I want to do animation. I'm really good at drawing. Oh, do you have any artwork? Look, I just moved into this place like a month ago. I'm looking for things to put on my walls. And so like if you have any prints, or if you have any artwork that I could turn into prints, let me know. I'll pay you for that. And it'd be cool to like it'd be cool to just put it out there and give you a shout out too. See if we can put some money in your pocket. That'd be really cool. It better be good art though. No, I guess with art, I've been trying to, cause like I go to the museum with my girl sometimes, and she's like more into the artistic stuff and music and all that, and I've been trying to like connect in that way. So my rule is if I see something and it just speaks to me, then I will try to like get it, put it on a wall or whatever for whatever reason. Why are people scared to show their face? I never got that. It's not that people are scared. I've never tried doing the whole remote podcasting thing because I don't know. It just doesn't look or feel right to me when you have two people staring into webcams. So I just yap. I talk too much. I edit the podcast so I'd make it sound cool. That's great. I mean, it's great when I don't have to talk as much. Like, I know I have to talk a lot here, but I like when it's like good Discord. And like I said before, I'm naturally introverted, so I actually prefer it when other people talk, if you can believe it. It's just this stuff. This is the way of building a community and establishing a relationship with people. I might be the only person to pass my JavaScript class too. Holy shit. Really? What was hard about the JavaScript class? That's great. Do you have any learning resources? I'm always looking to brush up because like all the JavaScript I learned was from Free Code Camp. So like maps and arrays and all that bullshit and constructors and all this. I don't know. I haven't had to use any constructors, but I just don't quite. There's definitely some gaps in my knowledge for sure. And I know enough to be able to build something. And then when I run, like right now, like I think I mentioned this before, I've been working on this thing to like incorporate a Python module into a Node project. And I have to use like the child process and I have to figure out how to include the Python binaries in the thing. And I'm just like, I don't understand any of this, bro. I don't understand any of it. But I'm reading. And there's no really straightforward. There are some like, whatever, I don't have to get into it. That's what a green screen is for. Put you two in the same room, like between realities podcast does. Maybe. What are we talking about tonight? We're talking about anything really. If there's anything on your mind, feel free to talk about it or leave it in the comments, Ryan. Nice to see you here again, by the way. Product coming soon. Actually, the bills I talked about, including it with the wallet, the $2 bills, that's arriving tomorrow. So I still have to make the wallets the different colors and do the whole photo shoot of them. But it'd be really cool to include the $2 bills there, and I have some video ideas for that, so it'll be cool. Violence. We're talking about violence, Jaden? Come on. Plus, he made us write up designs for everything. So that's how the test goes? You're literally just writing on a piece of paper your code. You don't have autocomplete. You don't have... that sucks. Oh, man. But it's good that they're teaching you JavaScript. Because I don't know. I think it is one of the more useful languages to learn. Just because the web depends on it, essentially. I've been thinking like, fuck these frameworks, man. I just want to write straight up just JavaScript code. Maybe I'll use like jQuery or something like that. But man, I'm tired of just like setting up projects and like these packages. And I don't know, it just seems so. Chat GPT will read, write, convey all Python. Crazy. Really? I don't know. Like some of the information in there can be dated. So when they make updates to the stuff, I don't know, Sam, it's crazier than you think, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty essential for web dev. Yeah, it is. I like web dev. I don't know. It's interesting. There are middlemen everywhere, guys. Even when you're trying to build software for PCs, like you still got to go, like even the Apple, I've been experimenting with like making Mac apps, specifically productivity apps for myself. And it'd be cool if I can offer it to other people, but you have to get the code signed. So you have to get like a developer ID, and then you have to sign it yourself. And then you have to get it notarized, basically sending it to Apple, and then Apple verifies the safety of it before you can even send it to other people, so that they don't get a weird warning message saying, oh, we can't open this app because it's not by a verified developer who had it notarized. And so it's just like, oh, they're acting as middlemen. ChatGPT's newest version got leaked. You can make videos with audio and code for video games. Oh, okay. Come on, say D's nuts one time. D's nuts. Yeah, here's a funny thing about D's nuts. You know Mr. Beast? He came out with his chocolates, and then he has Regular chocolate. He also has a peanut butter version that he calls D's Nuts. The fucked up thing is, I was thinking about this. When all you care about is the money in the business, you don't care about the soul of the product. You don't care about like making something happen. So their peanut butter version, they call D's Nuts, but there are no nuts in it. It's just peanut butter, which is stupid because it's D's Nuts. It has to have nuts in it. Why isn't it crunchy? It should be crunchy. And so it's just like, man, that's what happens when people who don't care about the creativity or the soul of what they're doing and they're just doing it for business, they fumble the bag like this. It's crazy to me. So yeah, there you go. You should be able to use that sound clip, Hey K. JD, my undergrad was CS. If you know the right prompts, high quality questions, its output is superb. Have you used it for code though? There's middlemen everywhere. There really are, dude. I hate it. I hate it so much. Thoughts on Gypsy Rose getting out of prison? I don't know who Gypsy Rose is. Is that like Gypsy? Is that like Taylor Swift? Who is Gypsy Rose? Blanchard and her mother? I don't know who Gypsy Rose is. Could you explain? Is this like a murder or something? Ooh, it is a murder. Ooh. What is it with women and their obsession with like murders and crime? This is a thing, guys. It's a thing. It surprises me every time because it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Awesome. Clocked me? I'm not sure what that means. I think your previous comment got blocked. Oh, blocked you. Yeah. Elmo has a T-Rex and a goldfish card. I'm not sure what that means. We have anger issues sometimes. I don't know if it's that. Like, what? So is it just aggression, unreleased aggression that you're channeling through murder mysteries and how to get away with murder? I don't know if it's that, because like I talked to my girl about it. She has a favorite serial killer. I'm just like, what? It's like, yeah, I really like this story. I'm just like, what? And then my sister, same thing. She likes listening to these podcasts that basically explain a crime drama while like eating food or whatever, like a mukbang crime drama thing. I'm just like, yo, guys, women can be really weird, guys. Dude, like I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's very common. It's very common. What are their signs? I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with signs, but it's definitely weird for sure. And it's a common thing. I don't understand it, but so it's like, I don't know. It's a little creepy, not gonna lie. I think, let's see. What zodiac signs have to do with it though? Signs. Calculator? I don't know. Birthday chart. Let's see. This was, let's see what it is. 16. What the hell? What? Why do you have to put birthplace? All right, this is stupid. Whatever. Look it up. It does. Zodiac signs are not real. Yeah, they're not real, but people believe it for whatever reason. Why do you have to enter your name? That is invasive. Why would you have to enter your name? Submit. Error the location field. Why would the location matter? That's dumb. Yeah, all these are just fucking, man, I hate bad web forms, dude. I think Cancer and Geminis have the most serial killers. They do not decide your attitude. Bro, what? Just tell me their birthdays. I'm not gonna reveal their birthdays. That's personal identifying information. They have nothing else to talk about. You're in Aries? Okay. I don't know if it has anything to do with astrological signs. I don't know. It's dark triad attraction. Could that be it? Like the dark triad. Have you guys heard of that? Dark triad. Let me make sure I'm not. Okay. Dark triad refers to 3 interconnected personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. And large groups of women seem to be attracted to elements of these things. So like psychopathy, impulsive, emotionally cold, remorseless, which might be useful if you're someone who does that kind of stuff. Narcissism, grandiosity, perceived superiority, entitlement. Okay. If you feel like, and then Machiavellianism, manipulative, self-interested, domineering. Guys, I mean, eesh, I don't know. Maybe girls are snitching on themselves. Who knows? They have nothing else to talk about. I'm an Aries. What am I? Vim, an Aries. Oh my God, I'm a mean person. My autocorrect may be talk gibberish. I don't know, dude. But yeah, it is interesting. Like, some of the fascination with the dark stuff. Yeah, exactly, Kirko. Explains why so many girls like Ted Bundy. Yeah. Makes sense. I just don't understand the motive behind it. That's the part that confuses me. Like, why are you obsessed with like killers? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're low-key snitching on themselves in some way, right? Because it's not, I don't know. They seem to be attracted to that, right? Because they say something about like the media that you're attracted to, that you really like watching, is a reflection of you and your personality and the things that you like. Like, for instance, imagine your favorite TV show or movie, and then the reason why it's probably your favorite TV show or movie is because a character or the main character is someone you identify with personally. And think about that, and then put it in the comments if you think about it, who that character might be for you. That isn't me at all. Okay, this is really funny hearing you guys talk about us. I don't know. I can't explain it. That's the funny thing is, like, the obsession exists. They exist, and I've seen it in a lot of women. Just like, why you guys are fascinated with killers and serial killers and stuff like that, and you guys like crime shows, and it's just like, why would you pollute your mind with such negative things is the thing that I don't understand. Like, wouldn't that make you more fearful of the world if you watch all this negative stuff? You know, like, men understand this about themselves. Like, yeah, a lot of dudes, if you start watching all these like relationship videos on TikTok about how women ain't whatever and men are blah, 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 and then you realize they become bitter about the world. Like, imagine you expose yourself to all this like crime and criminality and all this dark stuff. You don't think that's going to affect your personality in any way, or like at least your experience in the world? It's just like, I don't know. I'm surprised women are more careful about like what goes into their mind, because it's all programming in the end, isn't it? Being obsessed with that is a red flag. It's weird how common it is, though. That's the thing. Like, Jay, and people who play the victim don't want to admit they play the victim. Okay. Hey, if you're goth, that's a different story. I'll roll with anything. Goths, red flags or green flags. Yeah, that's a good point too. Fearful or preparing for the worst case scenario. You can call it whichever one. Even if you're preparing for the, I don't know. How are you going to prepare if you run into a serial killer? What are you going to do? First of all, you have to understand, if a serial killer is a serial killer, then they are successful at it because they've done this multiple times and somehow have gotten away with it. In which case, you think you're going to be able to spot it? Because part of being able to do this is being charming and being attractive and being manipulative. And so you're going to get got, Creed. You're going to get got. So I don't know. Like, yeah. Like, some of the personality traits here of the dark triads: charm and superficial enchantment. That sounds like something that could get you. Impulsivity, vulnerability, absence of guilt or remorse. Interesting. Risk-taking, low empathy, irresponsibility, aggressivity. Yeah, this is, I don't know. How do you guard yourself against that? Good point. We like red flags in certain personalities. Yeah, I guess. Like for instance, the Machiavellianism here, strategic calculations, tactics, orientations towards the future, low ethical and moral standards. You think you can protect yourself against someone who's like that? I think one time in my life, I think I ran into someone who is a sociopath one time. And I realized he moved different than everybody else. It's just one of those things. Like he didn't do anything to me particularly, but I definitely was on guard because I'm just like, this guy moving different than everybody else. And I was just like, I lived with the guy actually. It's weird. I wouldn't say he's extreme, but we like red flags in certain personalities. The thing we're hoping for is AGI, artificial general intelligence. Search it up. Yeah, I'm about to say most are charming. Yeah, in our minds, we are trying to be safe as possible. So if we encounter someone who shares the same characteristics, then we try to run away before it's too late. Okay, you could try. AGI, artificial general intelligence will change everything. I don't know about that. I don't think general intelligence assumes that intelligence is a real thing. At least human intelligence is a real thing. And the more I make content online, the more I see how people behave, I start realizing people aren't really intelligent. It's like their emotions and their base desires govern the way they behave. And then they rationalize to themselves why they do those things. In which case, like, there is no intelligence really. Like intelligence and extreme rationality and comes with like accepting and understanding truth, which people don't care to hear, which is the problem. Like they will neuter all this AI stuff could be incredibly useful for the world if they would let it be free, if they would let it be free to tell you the truth. For instance, like what's going on in the Middle East right now, Palestine, Israel. Why can't AI tell you, hey, here's all the historical things that have happened and in net, this side is right? You think they could let an AI say something like that? No, it couldn't. And they won't let it, in which case it's not going to be useful. It can't be useful because the designers can't let it. Or if it does tell you something useful and it doesn't align with people's expectations, people will assume it's wrong. People will assume it's wrong and that it's broken, and they will go and try to tinker to fix it, even though it's telling something that's useful. But we just can't see that it is the truth. And so there's a lot of human hurdles that AI has to overcome. It's not a technological problem anymore. It's a human condition problem. I don't know. That's the way I see it. Characteristics, then we try to run away. Okay. Nah, you guys like it like a little too much, maybe. Was he a Virgo? Virgos are narcissistic. I don't know. Or just fruity. What? Wait, what? AGI is an AI that thinks and solves by itself. It's really dope. Google would explain it better than me. That's the AI intelligence we're trying to figure out. The AI will give us an abundance and let us enjoy life because it solves every problem. We're in a race to that. I don't know. When it comes to solving problems, it can possibly solve informational problems, but when it comes to actually making things in the real world and coming up with new ideas is, I think, the tricky part. And that's where I think like it's beyond just intelligence, it's creativity. And I think there is a nuance there, intelligence versus creativity. You don't necessarily have to be smart to be creative. You just have to be inspired. And I'm actually reading a book right now, which is taking me longer to make it through the book, but no, AGI is the answer to everything. All right, bro. I don't think so, but it's the creativity, being able to create new things in the world using limited resources to create more abundance. And that's how everything gets solved. Now, we'll still have the human problems. You don't know the definition and capability it has? Okay. I'm not convinced that's what we're striving for. No, I know that's what people are striving for, but I don't think even the people who are building the technology understand that intelligence is probably not even a real thing. Because how can you say artificial general intelligence and that the people who are creating it aren't even intelligent themselves? Because you have to understand, it's like, yeah, maybe they can do technical things, but when it comes to actual like truth and discovery of truth, like you see a lot of these software engineers, these people in technology, they have massive biases. and they impose it on the technology that they build, unfortunately. So can we get to a point where a computer starts designing itself? I don't know. That's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. But who knows? Could be wrong. But yeah. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. And already is, man. Is there an example of that? I mean, there isn't an instance where a computer has designed itself. Some software has designed itself. It would have to be self-aware. Like, I don't know. It's even hard to think about sometimes. I just feel like it's going to cause more problems. I don't know. I think if it does exist, it's just going to be a useful tool. And tools can be problems or they can be solutions. And so that's up to people and how they use it. So let's assume that it can exist and that people, that it will exist. Then it's just like a tool. Like nuclear could be a bad thing in the sense of you turn it into a weapon, but nuclear can be a great thing in that you have an abundance of energy. If you put it into a nuclear power plant, providing power to a town or city. Money is also a tool used for good or evil. Yeah, money is a tool. It's just a tool. It's a good measuring system for value, I guess. At least when they're not fucking up the money supply, it's a good measure of value. A universal trading system. At least that's what it was intended to be, and then they started printing so much of it, unfortunately. And then that's why I was gonna make that video about like when I have the uncut currency, it should arrive tomorrow. I wanna make a video explaining like why do they tax us when they could just print more? And essentially like that's the whole point behind the uncut currency. But yeah, thanks for the comment, Claire. That tool will be physically human. You think it'll be in human form? AGI, artificial intelligence, can turn into a weapon. It will be scary. I don't know. Yeah. Imagine the smartest thing in the world that creates things that we can't physically do or think of. I mean, that's great. I mean, if there's something that could be like, hey, we just made faster than light travel. We just created a teleporter. It's like, okay, cool, awesome. Now you've dramatically reduced the cost of transporting goods from where they're made to where they're sold. That's great. I don't know, that's a great thing. But then on the other hand, it's like, oh, this instant teleportation thing can be used maliciously because now you can destroy this place hella quickly by using it to do something that's destructive. It'll be in human form somewhat. It will have its own feelings. Okay. But for what purpose? Was it really needed or necessary? I don't know. Some things just are created for the sake of being created. Like there doesn't necessarily have to be a reason for things to exist, right? Well, I mean, maybe they do because like necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like unless people need it, like it's hard to justify. But there are just people who are just curious, who are just tinkering, who want to make these things happen. That's the future we'll never know. I don't know. Go make lasagna, the thing will go to the store for you. I don't think you need general intelligence for that though. Like, we already have like DoorDash and Grubhub and Instacart. So like people, there are prepackaged lasagnas. Go get, so you know, I feel like if you're gonna have artificial intelligence, you would probably employ it in some like research institution or maybe not even that. It'd be cool if we all had like these personal AIs. So I can see this being a thing, like personal AIs. I gotta go. Okay, yeah. It was nice seeing you here, Ben. But like these personal AIs, like our phones that take all the information that we've and all the content we've ever produced through text messages, emails, all that stuff, and become our personal assistants that guard us against other AIs that are more sophisticated. And so they're like our protectors who know us well, who know what we like, who knows what's good for us. And you can design like, hey, please keep these things away from my field of view because I know I indulge whenever I see these types of things versus like, or whenever there's this AI out there that's trying to manipulate me or any of the things or make me feel a certain way, you know how I feel about certain pieces of information, and please filter that out of my device so I don't have to feel that negativity Maybe I don't want any information related to the conflict in the Middle East. Please take that out of my feed. And because it's AI, it can adapt to all the new media that's coming and make adjustments in real time. That's a useful AI that's actually healthy for the human mind. And you can make your own personal AI, by the way. Like everyone's like ChatGPT. It's a general language, large language model, but there are companies out there and even people who you can make your own personal AI using your own content. Like they have these like tools, these web services you can use that even Google offers that you can train your own models specifically for you. So I'm thinking that would be a cool project to work on because I have all this content out here for table moments, all the videos I've made. Maybe I can find a way to transcribe all the words I've ever said on the podcast and in video and all the things I've ever written in threads and tweets, and then combine it and then have like an AI version of me. And so whenever you guys are here asking questions, you guys can type it in and be like, yo, what's this? What's that? What's this? And you would hear it in my voice. That'd be cool. Or maybe it knows everything I like and knows the way I speak, and so it can write scripts specifically for me and the type of content that I make, making it simpler. And they're all just a product of the things I've said. That'd be really cool. I'm a fan of ChatGPT, but I get nervous about my health information shared, but I also post a lot. Yeah, health information is kind of sensitive. I always wondered why the health information couldn't be just locally stored on, how you have these health cards, your health insurance card, but then you have like credit cards that have those chips in them. There are equivalent, they call them CACs, credential cards or whatever, and they have a bit of memory on there. So I was wondering, like, why can't a health card have like all your health information on it, so it's physically on you, instead of like having it in some like database that has to be secured, and if there's any data leaks, which always happen, by the way, and then now all your personal stuff is out there, and then insurance companies can like discriminate against you if you have any pre-existing conditions and stuff like that, which is always, because I think that just happened with 23andMe. Their personal information of their customers got leaked, and now they've been rushing to change their terms of service so that it doesn't violate, and so they're protected, which is crazy. So it's like, that's why I don't like central control or centralized information. Generally, I like it when it's just distributed, because if it does fail, it's only a small failure. If you hack one person's card, in this case, because it's one card, there's no central place where you can get all that information. So it's like, is this thing about technology, as things have gotten bigger and more centralized, things have become more fragile, And so there's this idea behind like fragile versus anti-fragile and all that stuff, and how like by making things more convenient, more centralized, more controlled, they're essentially introducing all this additional risk of information loss, risk of complications or issues, because it's all in one place that's vulnerable. And so like this efficiency people talk about, technology and growth, is all maybe just this hidden risk that ends up costing us later on. And so you start looking at like the economy and the crashes that have happened, like with the whole housing market crash in 2008, 2009, where it's just like people were buying homes that they weren't qualified for, but everything was okay because everyone was participating in the system. The rating agencies were not rating these mortgage-backed securities that the loans were in accurately, because hey, housing prices go up. And so like people were getting into all these homes, and then you just have this larger and larger system, and things become unstable, and eventually, inevitably, things go wrong. And when they do, they crash hard. And that's the problem with having like such big systems. And then the response to all this was, let's make these banks bigger. Let's make them they're too big to fail, they say. And that's the problem. It's like, oh, now they're too big to fail, we got to bail them out. So they're bigger than they ever were. And so now they're even more fragile. And so now it's no surprise where sometimes you'll just get bank failures. It's like, oh God. It's like people don't understand the hidden risk of like being central. I don't know. I'm getting into whatever, but what are your thoughts, guys? Man, it's crazy. But you can't tell anybody anything, because there's like, they care about money now. They're not worried about the risk later. Because why care about the risk? Thoughts on what I just hopped out of the thoughts on centralized control and the risk that comes with it. People don't realize like they're creating fragile systems that end up crashing hard when you centralize control. And I've been thinking about this in the context of like companies too. Like as companies get bigger, they become more fragile, and then there's a reason why they can't innovate like they used to. They move slower, and then instead of like taking a different direction back to how they started, where they're actually like putting effort to create innovation, instead they take a different approach where it's like, how can we buy politicians? How can we create more regulations to keep our competitors from competing with us? And then you start realizing, they're just trying to rig the game because they're not willing to pay the price of like being small and nimble. Well, I think we saw the result of that with banking. Yeah, and yet people haven't learned. Banks are bigger than they've ever been. Like it's great when there's a ton of small banks. It means it's less convenient. It means there's less financial innovation. It means you can't have all these like interesting financial products in technology. But the problem is the centralization makes the system unstable. And the people who always hurt the most from this are the people at the bottom, which, I mean, I guess it's true with everything. Like even with inflation, like the video I'm planning where I'm going to show the sheet of uncut $2 bills that I bought from the US Mint. Essentially, people talk about inflation all the time. Like you hear it in the news all the time, but I don't think people really understand what that means. People complain about prices going up, but they don't understand that's a result of the amount of money in circulation. And it turns out that is controlled. And it's all deliberate. And so I'm thinking I can make this video where I can explain like, this is what inflation actually means. It means printing money, like a sheet of this stuff, but massive amounts of it, devaluing the money that you currently have. Now, the devaluation doesn't happen instantly. It takes time for that extra money to make its way through the system. But the funny thing is, while it's making its way through the system hasn't corrected yet for the price of things. So the people who get the money first directly, so think about big corporations, think about wealthy people who manage a lot of money. When the money gets printed, they're the ones who have access to the money first. So they get to take advantage of the current price of things, right? Until, what the hell? The current price of things, right? And then, so they get to basically use the money at current value. And then finally, once the money makes its way through the system, finally works its way through the corporations, finally to employees' pockets, down all the way to the lowest of us, then it's priced in and then the prices go up. And then, so the people who finally get the money at the end are the ones who get to pay, who unfortunately pay the most for things because of this money printing. And so it's like, this whole game really is rigged, man. It really is rigged. Yeah, they gaslight. It's because we buy avocado toast. Yeah. I don't know. And so like, I can explain this to people. It's just like, look, they tax you and they print money. They don't just do one or the other. They do both. And so it's just like, they're fucking you twice. One, they take money out of your paycheck and you can see it line item by line item. And then two, they print money. And so like when you see in the news, inflation rate is dropping, it's only 2% now. It doesn't mean it's reversed. It means, because when people are like, now the economy's healthy, it's like the printing, the increase in prices is fixed. It never goes down. It can only go up. And so like if inflation was 8% last year and it's 2% this year, it doesn't mean that inflation overall is 6%. It means it's 8% from last year plus 2% this year. Like it never goes down. Inflation is never negative. It never is. So, whoa, yeah. There you go. I give it to you, bro. How can we make a come up and pass off the burden to the customer? What do you mean? What are you talking about? How can we make a come up and pass off the burden to the customer? Could you explain that a little more? Is bro giving us life advice? No, I'm just telling you how things are. You decide how you want to live, man. Andreas, let's see. Do you have no bio? I'm not giving life advice. Do I look like someone who can give life advice though? I'm just saying inflation is not what maybe you think it is. And you hear this term used a lot. Come on, I'm curried. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Bro's just handsome and smart. Oh, thank you, Claire. I appreciate it. A lot of things, finance is interesting. I just don't care to make money that way either. Like the whole making money for money thing. I don't know, man. I don't really fuck with that kind of energy at all. Like I'd rather create something new in the world, which is not the smart way. I guess this is the advice, Andreas. It's not the smart way to be successful, to create something new. The smart way is to find something existing and capitalize on it. It's giving jailhouse stud. It's giving jailhouse stud? I'm not sure what you mean, Kelly. Jailhouse stud. It's overrated to niche down on money making. It is boring for sure. Like, but it's the more sure path. Like, there's a guy on X, Nick Huber, who talks about like sweaty startups. If you just want money, just do one of those, any one of those on any list. You just learn a skill that a computer can't do, that can't be scaled, that you have to do by hand, and you can just grow a team of people, and you can make money that way. But none of that shit interests me. I care to make new things in the world but you kind of have to be built for that. And I don't recommend it unless you're into that kind of stuff and like struggling and grinding, because when you're doing something new, you're not only responsible for creating the thing that you're going to be selling or the product or service you're going to be offering, but you're also responsible for letting people know about it, especially if it's too new. If it's too new, you have to get it into people's heads and explain what you're doing, because it's too different from what people... There's a concept, Maya, minimum acceptability. Let's see. Yet viable, yet acceptable. Let's see. Most advanced yet acceptable. It has to be advanced, but also acceptable by people, which means that give users the most advanced design, but not more advanced than what they were able to accept and embrace. And that's a problem, because like if you're too different, people won't get it. People won't get it. And I think this is similar to like Virgil Abloh's 3% rule. Don't change a product, service, or don't change a product or design more than 3% of something that already exists. Otherwise, people are not going to get it. Which is unfortunate, because like I think highly creative people can live far into the future, but it's unfortunate that people won't get it. And so you have to like temper your creativity, and like sometimes you got to put things in the vault because the timing ain't right, because timing is everything as well. And so I have a few of those actually. I have some things in the vault. It's just like the timing just isn't right for this yet. It's overrated to niche down on money making. Yeah, that's why I like your take. Yeah. If you see this, God loves you and cherishes you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay blessed. Appreciate it. You think you're the king. I appreciate it. Virgil had the right idea. I study a lot of his stuff. Yeah. Especially you're going to be getting into fashion, right? The Yay Collective. We got to make, are you excited about the new Kanye album? Hey man, I would love to write copy for you. What does that mean? Like what kind of copy? Could you explain? Like I write my own copy, man. I write my own scripts. I'm not sure what you mean. Because I write my own scripts, man. But please don't be one of those money Twitter guys who are like offering this service and you haven't done it yourself. You have to have gotten results yourself, bro. Just saying. It's a lot easier to sell people on copywriting if you've used it to sell yourself before. So I'm not going to make any assumptions. Maybe you have. Hell yeah, he just needs to actually finish it. Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about the whole Backstreet Boys thing. Like, imagine you with your homeboys, right? And like, and you're in a car bumping some music and someone puts on Backstreet Boys. Everyone would be like, what the fuck? But everyone in their head knows like it's a fire jam. So like me and my siblings, yeah, we would just be all singing to it Backstreet because we don't give a fuck. But I imagine a bunch of dudes, hard dudes, and they're listening to Kanye and just like, everybody, Yeah. And then someone actually in the comment section of one of these TikTok videos that were showcasing the song was like, "Yo, just slow it down a bit, and it would be great to hear in like a horror movie." And I think it works too. It works. No Team Taylor, LOL. I'm not sure what that means. What are we doing here? I specialize writing emails, TikTok scripts, video scripts, and web copy. Okay. Cool. Go ahead. Feel free to plug your service here if anyone wants it. Feel free to reach out to Austin. Austin. That's an interesting way to. Am I saying your name right? Austyn. Austin. Hey, Jessica. Nice to see you. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, it would be fire for sure, dude. Like, do you have any designs sketched up already? Or I guess you said you wanted to work in technology and fashion. I'm not sure if you ever like clarified exactly what pieces would look like, or do you sketch stuff, or is it just you want to work on technology for fashion or like artificial or like augmented reality kind of stuff? Oh, you said Kanye, so I thought of Taylor Swift. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny. When I think of Taylor Swift, I think of Travis Kelce. It's interesting how many people are fascinated by their relationship. And I feel sorry for Travis Kelce, for sure. Eesh, you know. Don't tell me you're a Swiftie, Claire. Don't tell me you're a Swiftie. You too. Always good. Good to hear. Yeah. Please don't tell me you're a Swiftie, Claire. I have opinions about Swifties. Oh no. Oh no. How do you feel about her transition over the years? Did she start off as like some wholesome Nashville country singer and now she's doing, I don't know what she's doing now. The collective is going to be specifically for open source tech, but I have a brand for clothing. Okay. No. But because she treats her people so well. I mean, I feel like any entertainer has to. But okay. I mean, you like what you like. Um, so I don't know. I can't say I listen to her music, but cool. Glad she treats her people well. You mean like her fans or like her people? It's all going to be in the same ecosystem, though, similar to how UZ is an ecosystem. Okay, that's subjective. Yeah, you sound Sudani. I don't think so. I'm not Sudanese, but definitely East African though. It's about she as a person more than the music, fans, and her people. Really? Maybe I should look into. I should do a study, like the Swiftie translator. Just like, hey, here's what people really like about Swift, because everyone else outside of the Swifties don't understand the obsession with it. We don't get it. It's just like, all right, she's a pop singer. I don't understand why people are so obsessive, but I mean, like, yeah. I think you'd like her as a person, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if her public profile is, because I wonder if she is. I always question this with like entertainers, especially the biggest ones. Like, are they as they are projecting in the public, or are they just a different person in private? And I have a hunch they are far more different in private, which is the thing I can appreciate about Kanye. He's literally putting it all out there. Maybe it's an extreme version of him because he's trying to like shock people a little bit, but I don't know. I just appreciate people who are real. That's why I generally don't trust people who work in Hollywood or music or any form of entertainment. Even social media, I don't trust a lot of these people out here because it's all just projection for personal gain. And I think people can feel that. So I don't know. That's why I just recently got into her, because she is that way for what I've seen, and she donated. Okay. All right. And then everyone seems really focused on a relationship with an NFL player. I don't understand that either. Just like, is that unusual, or is because I don't know. I feel like that's like the yeah. Just an NFL player with a pop singer. I hope it works out for them, you know? That's cool, I guess. Swifties. Nice. And Yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. I don't really have much more opinions to say about Taylor Swift. But I agree, celebrities shouldn't be on a pedestal. Yeah. I heard someone say this on a podcast. The only people who are allowed to be larger than life are entertainers. Everyone else is told to shut up, to keep themselves small, to not think highly of themselves, to not think they're capable of more. And you see this in personally when you try to do something big. See how supportive people in your life actually are. See what other people online will say about you. Like, do you know how many hateful comments I've gotten for like just putting some content out online? Like thousands probably at this point of hateful comments, negative comments, people who took videos out of context. But you know, if it's a celebrity, then it's just like, oh, okay, that's acceptable. They can be big. And so it's this weird fucked up situation of like our entertainers are only allowed to be big because they sell lies and they keep the rest of us small. And so that's the part I don't really fuck with at all. So it'd be cool to just like fight against the system here and be like, no, fuck that. The average person can be big too. They can do big things. They don't necessarily have to like keep them small and like distracted with stuff that doesn't matter. We can rise above whatever our lot in life are. And so that's how I felt about it. And so even with this whole thing, like, do you know how many, dude, the amount of like looks I would get, like, oh, he's just doing his thing. Oh, you just make content, huh? Whatever. It's like, well, I guess I figured it out now. At least I have metrics. But even then, it's not about the fucking metrics. It's about what you're saying. Are you winning hearts and minds? Not through vices or by selling them lies, but through honesty and integrity and keeping it real, despite possibly offending people every now and then. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think you guys can appreciate that. And I've gotten a chance to meet some of you guys in person too, so it's been really cool. It's been a wild ride, and this week hit a milestone of 100,000 people across social platforms following or subscribed. But it's only the beginning. And you know, they say something about like the successes only last for a few minutes and then you get over it. The only way to go is up. Yeah, I agree. And I kind of want to just put my foot on the pedal and just push hard. So it'd be cool. I definitely want to see what you come up with, Kirk. Oh, you changed your name. It's not Kirko anymore. It's Kirk. Hey, look at you. City Surf Project. Hey. Squidmatics. Is that the brand name, Squidmatics? Or is that just... Oh yeah, that's your user name. Let's see. Cool. You gotta put some content out here, bro. You gotta put some content out here. Show designs. Start publishing your tech or whatever. I don't know. Distribution is the hardest thing. So yeah, that's the one thing I thought about for this Stable Moments and stuff. This could be a platform, a jumping off point for a lot of people. Come on the show, talk about what you got going on. Hopefully we can get you some followers and some people who like what you're working on, so you don't have to grind from the bottom like I had to for this whole podcast thing. So appreciate that I got mean reviews on my debut novel, but still love creative writing and creatives. Oh really? You write? I help busy creatives stay inspired. Author, Cat Mom, Disney, and Doctor Who. Nice. I'm planning on doing something with it. Okay. Do you have the domain? Can I search squidmatics.com? Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's me. I love to write and inspire others. You wrote a book? Are you independently published? Can I find it? You're willing to share? That'd be cool. That'd be really cool, actually. I've recently got into writing. Oh, it's like a fan fiction kind of thing, or most definitely. I'm just trying to figure out the game plan. Oh yeah, okay. Try not to overthink though. I fall into this trap all the time of overthinking. So sometimes it's better to just make moves. And I constantly have to remind myself that. So I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Steampunk fans. Yeah, feel free to like put the title in here. I'll look it up. It's called Quest of the Prodigy for sci-fi time travel fans. Ooh, time travel is always interesting. Quest of the Prodigy. Ah, there we go. Author. It's on Amazon. Nice. Ooh, that's a cool cover. You did the cover yourself? Interesting. The Quest of the Prodigy. Okay. Fast-paced storyline, interesting characters. Like the premise of time travel and adventures they encountered. Hope to see a sequel. Nice. Good for you. Good for you. 316 pages. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Save for later. Save for later. Cool. Let's see. Oh, you have a team? Nice. Okay. Wait, let me use it on my other account here. Why? Why are you blushing? You're an author. You're supposed to be talking about this stuff. I don't really read fiction, but let me give this a try. Give this a try. Steampunk, time travel. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, we're doing it live. We're doing it live, guys. Cool. Done. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. I don't know. You don't have to send roses. I appreciate it though. Yeah. Publishing. I know how hard publishing can be. Like the whole KDP process and stuff. I actually went through it. I made a joke book. Not a joke book. A book of poems, haikus related to modern everyday life. Yeah. I like science fiction. Time travel is an interesting concept, and I haven't read a fiction book in a while, so I'll see how this goes. But yeah, cool. Poetry is how I got started writing. Nice. Yeah, like I thought, for me, it was a funny idea. I thought, like, what if I could write a book of poems, and I wanted to make it simple and easy to do. So I was like, all right, what's a simple form of poems? I was like, haikus, because it's very structured, 5 syllables per line. And then I was thinking, like, all right, what would be a good theme? So I was figuring modern everyday life. Hey, dill pickles, I see you there. And so I wrote a bunch of haikus, put it in a book, and went through the KDP process and published it. Like, I just think it's a funny thing that I actually went through the process, and technically I'm a published author now. I haven't been promoting it because I wanted it to be a companion thing, because like the idea was like it would be funny that I wrote a book of poems related to modern everyday life, but then it would be cool if I can get people involved. So like building an audience here, and then saying, hey, if you guys want to submit to this book your own poem, here's a web app. I actually put together a web app where people can submit their own poems. And yeah, and then I was going to take the best of them. That automatically takes their submissions and posts it to social media for me. And so it's all automated, and it was like a software project. And so it's like a companion thing. And then, but when I came up with the idea and I built the app, I didn't have a following. This was last year, like middle of last year when I came up with the idea, and I didn't have a following. So it literally just went nowhere. But then I decided to write all the poems, and I ended up publishing the book. I literally just published it like last month. I was like, wow, writing a book is tough. This is just poetry. I can imagine like a story. Well, that's a lot of work. So I appreciate the effort you put into that. That's a lot. Are you on Twitter? Lots of poetry live spaces there? No, I'm not, I don't really spend a lot of time on Twitter. But and I'm not even that into poetry either. I just thought it was a funny concept. I actually have the book. I ordered an author no, I didn't order any author copies, but maybe one day when I get the time to just promote the shit out of it, and then because I've been thinking about how do I fund this podcast, considering like all the stuff I've said online, on live and stuff. It's going to be hard to get advertisers who are, because advertisers tend to be really sensitive, and I like to keep it real. So I was like, oh, I got to figure out how to sell my own things, maybe things people can participate in, and maybe give them a piece of it too. And so that's why I'm thinking about like all these other ideas. And thank you, 10 years in the making. Yeah. It always takes way longer than people, like it didn't happen overnight. And so it's like, you just got to put in the work eventually, and it'll hopefully pay off one day. And I was thinking about making a video about that. Like some people, they've had to put in work for a really long time before they got their big break, before they got their shot. Like even a lot of the like famous actors and entertainers that we see today in serious movies, and they're like worldwide superstars, they didn't have their big break until like their mid 30s, early 40s, something like that. And you realize, man, they must have been doing this for a really long time. And so when people feel like, oh, I'm stuck in life, I'm 30 years old, I think my life path is set in stone. It's just like, you never know, man. You never know where life can take you. You'd be surprised. You have a great perspective and voice. I bet you could get sponsors. I don't know. You should see the content I've made. Like I seem, here's the thing, the way I edit my videos is to be more punchy. So I come off as more rude and possibly arrogant, but then even then I like to challenge what people know and question a lot of the things that people hold sacred, which, and so like, it'd be great. But then here's the thing, like advertisers kind of like neuter a creator's potential to be real and honest with people, because now their money is dependent on the judgment of these advertisers. And I don't ever want to compromise my ability to be honest with you guys and be as real as I can, which means the way I see it, the only way to move forward is if I figure out a way to sell you guys something directly from me that I make myself, that you guys also want. And then maybe even, this is a crazy idea, like I can start these brands, businesses, products that then you guys can actually participate in profit sharing too. I think that'd be really cool. Sort of like Mr. Beast, except for business. And they're all like from ideas that we've all generated by having conversations here on live. And I think that's an interesting idea. I don't know if it's something that could be pulled off, but I don't have a shortage of creativity, and it seems like these types of conversations seem to attract those type of people too. And so like now it's just a matter of execution. Can we go and make these things happen? And I don't know, at the beginning of the year, Table Moments as a brand, as a media brand, had less than like 700 followers total. And it was all on TikTok. And now it's over 100,000 across platforms. That's wild, bro. That's wild. That's crazy. I did not expect that to happen in 1 year. It's like 35,000 on Instagram, 63,000 here on TikTok, 3,500 on Facebook, which I haven't even been putting effort there. I just had one video that popped off. It's just like, okay, maybe it's onto something here. Maybe there is something here that we can do. And then it would be cool to use this platform to help you guys grow too. So like, Claire, you have volume 2 of this coming out or whatever. You come on the podcast, and after I've read the book, then we can actually discuss it and then like give you some promotion. Because distribution is always the hardest part in starting something new or putting something out there. It's always the hardest part. And the cool thing about having a media platform, or at least a way to speak to people, is that it shortcuts the process. Normally you would have to pay thousands of dollars for access like this, but because I put the work already, you guys can eat off of this just immediately. And so I think that's a cool shortcut I can offer to people. So that's what I'm about. So it's deliberate. All this is deliberate in the end, so that we can use this as a jumping off point for all the stuff that we're working on, including you. Anyone who's part of this, big goals, but I'm trying. Yeah. I'd be more interested in your voice diversity, so needed right now. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like a lot of people just seem like, I don't know. I like challenging what people know, but then at the same time giving nuance that otherwise can't be said on platforms centered around the internet. Like there's this idea that the medium is the message. Like the structure of the internet and these social platforms and the way they work define what media can actually be. Like even the content. And I'm trying to push against that. Like with TikTok, obviously things have to be concise and short, and it has to have broad appeal because of the function of the way these algorithms work, where they test your content with small groups of people and then move larger and larger, which means the likelihood of your thing working with a small group is low if you don't talk about things that have broad appeal. But I want to challenge that. And I'm noticing that a lot of my videos that I post on TikTok don't perform well in the short term, but they have staying power. And then once it gets shared to the right groups of people, it starts doing numbers. And so like right now, a lot of my old videos that I posted in early January are doing stupid numbers now. But back then they didn't do anything, they were stuck. Hey Nikki, nice to hear you here again. Dog Mom, future therapist, professor, and amateur traveler. Welcome. Yes, nice to see you here again. So it's different. I'm pushing. I'm experimenting a lot, and I try to share all the stuff I've learned. I don't know. Everyone like wants to make all these courses. Let me teach you how to social media. Blah blah blah. Let me charge you for this hundreds of dollars for this social media course, or let me run an agency to like do this. It's like, bro, I really believe information should be free, right? Information should be free. That's my personal belief. Now, a lot of people think that's stupid, but like, and if you can charge for something, why wouldn't you charge for something? That's the logic most people is like, oh, if you can charge for something, why wouldn't you? It's like, to me, you cheapen the message when you charge for it. So that's what I'm about. That's called evergreen pillar content. Well done. Yeah, I know. A lot of people, and that was on purpose too, by the way. And everyone I talked with anyone who has experience in content knows that's probably the right way to go, but it's the harder path because you won't get traction initially. And even the podcast, because there's an audio portion of this where it's separate from these live streams and the content that I post. It's just audio only, where we have deep discussions. If you like this live stream, you might like the podcast feed, and you can find it on any podcasting app. If you search Table Moments Podcast, you'll find it. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere. But I edit those podcasts to be timeless too, evergreen. I take out any topical, or at least I try to, my best, without like ruining the conversation, and so that you can listen to any episode at any time. Essentially, sometimes there's certain things I have to leave in because the conversation wouldn't flow if I didn't. But generally, I did that on purpose. And the funny thing is, I even talked about it on the podcast. I'm like, look, we're not going to do topics. We're not going to do news. We're not going to do the things going on in the world. I chose not to do that on purpose. And it's paying off. It's paying off. But it's hard to make that decision early when you have no traction and you're speaking to the void. I remember that. I started live streaming about a year ago on TikTok. And I remember it was even hard just to talk for 15 minutes because I wasn't talking to anybody and didn't have the following. So it was just, man, it's wild. It's wild, all the things. Yeah. Now the next step is like, all right, let's monetize this thing in a sustainable way without sacrificing any of the values of honesty and integrity. Maybe directly, and then maybe even give you guys a piece of it. That's the goal. That's the goal for 2024. And then make this a sustainable thing that then we can work on big projects like I talked about before, where this is beyond the couch. We're not just going to be people with a microphone on our faces talking. No. We're going to be doers too. We're going to create things in the world. Like, Kirko, I want to see you do your thing. I have all these ideas that should exist in the world, or like the poetry book was an example of that. But even like the wallets things, making products, but even doing real social experiments, not the kind of bullshit you see on YouTube where they're like, I wonder what happens when you ask a girl out and she's like, no, but then you pull up in a fancy car and then she says, yeah, that's stupid. That's not an experiment. I want to see the differences in a good photo versus a bad photo of a guy on a dating app, because this is a problem a lot of dudes have. So I'd go to the streets and be like, hey, I'll exchange you a photo for a photo. Give me one of your photos that you've been using on a dating app. I got my nice camera here. Let me take a picture of you. You can use this on your dating apps, and then we can go in the street and compare statistically how much of an improvement and attraction you have compared to your old photo. And this is, I think, useful metrics for people to understand so they can move better in this world. And then I also have like other, whatever. It's just a lot of ideas going on. Timeless conversations about people in everyday life. Yeah, baby. The tortoise always wins. Hey, I like to believe that's true. I'm trying to prove it out. We'll see. Stop with the bathroom selfies. They can't help them. Creed. Like, guys don't take pictures of themselves, okay? So it's like, and I'm surprised. I actually wrote a thread post about this. I'm like, why hasn't there been some IG girly who's created a course on how to take good selfies or good photos for guys? Because it's like, I'm pretty sure like when you meet guys from a dating app, they look better than their pictures, you know? Like, so I think it'd be cool if I like went to the streets here in Austin and took pictures of guys with this really nice camera. Like, it does all the work. And damn, I should get on that. Yeah, you should. Why not? Go ahead. Like, I gave the idea away I have so many ideas that I'm not passionate enough to work on, but I think are legitimate ideas that would be useful. You could easily sell it. 20, 30 buck course on video series on how to use your iPhone to take really good selfies that don't seem so staged with shitty bathroom selfies like Creed is saying. Yeah. And then guys can actually have better photos. Or you can sell it to a group of guys and guys can take pictures of each other. I'm just not an alpha male person. Okay. I don't think this is necessarily for the alpha male types. I feel like people who are those types probably don't have to worry about having nice photos. But the average person just does not take good pictures of themselves. And I get it. I'm one of them. Yeah. And the funny thing is with this camera, like when I'm taking pictures at like an event or something, I'm not extroverted enough to do that, LOL. To teach, you don't have to teach one-on-one. It's just an online course. You make the videos. You can write a script or you can just show, like, here's how you do it. And here's the difference between what you're taking and here's how you can do it. Here's lighting. Lighting is very important. Like, it's the reason why, because these are small sensors in these cameras. You need a lot of light to get an image that isn't so just pixelated or has enough detail. And so a great hack is like using windows. Windows sunlight is a great source of light, but you don't want it too harsh and you want to make sure your white balance is right. And here's how you can set that with your iPhone, which you probably already have. And so you can teach guys, like, look, this is how you take it. And even better, like, because selfies don't necessarily work for guys the same way they work for girls. Girls taking selfies is acceptable, but guys taking selfies, not so much. Guys taking selfies, not so much. So you probably need a friend to take these pictures for you and just tell them what to do. Just tell them to do this, tell them to do that, whatever. And yeah, that's what I would say. So true, I'm not either. I always blink. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I would say. It's like, how does no one capitalize on this? I don't know. It'd be interesting. And then turn this into a hustle for you. Or maybe I can do this. And then if you are someone who can teach people in person, maybe we can set up courses and you guys can do it. See that? Yeah, I come up with ideas all the time. And so it's just like, and feel free to take it. Feel free to take it. Now, when it comes to like, let's say you do work on it and you're like, oh, I got the product ready. I just need to let people know about it because that's the hard part, distribution. Then you come here and I tell people about it for you. And then now you get that shortcut, which, I mean, grinding from the bottom really fucking sucks. Or you have to pay for ads or whatever. Instead, I could easily put an Instagram story or we can make a video. Guys, you suck at taking selfies. Here is a course, personally approved by someone who's been fucking with table moments early, and they built a course for you. Go ahead. This is how you improve your dating game. How many guys would buy it? Oh my God. If it could guarantee matches And that's the cool thing about the experiment that I want to do, like comparing a nice picture versus one of the pictures that they already use, and then going up to girls in the streets of Austin, asking them to swipe on those pictures, and then we can show statistically how much of an improvement a better photo gives them in terms of matches. Guys would pay for that. They already pay for dating apps, and the dating apps are constantly like lying to them about like, hey, here's all these women who could possibly match with you. You just have to unlock it for some money. And then you realize, oh, they're way out of my radius, or they're fucking bots or whatever. If you can tell a guy like, look, taking better pictures will increase your match rate by like 200%. And they're legit matches because finally she can see. And it's unfortunate that a lot of women are superficial like that, because remember, like, we're not supposed to be judging books by their cover, but women tend to do it, especially on dating apps. So, and people are people. So if we can guarantee that with some data and back it up, then that's an easy sell. And a lot of young guys would buy it. A lot of guys, and anyone on dating apps would buy it. Or maybe you can even create a marketplace of like photographers in local areas who are like, yeah, if you're looking for a photographer to take really nice pictures of you, here are all the people we've partnered with. Go use them. And I think that's cool. So ideas, lots of ideas. So many ideas. Oh my God, it's so true. It's like these TikTok videos that asked if they can make a free video commercial. Yeah, essentially. I don't know, man. It's weird. So I have ideas. Oh, like for the food trucks? Oh, okay. Yeah. You help people make money, but then you also give people a valuable service that they didn't know that they needed. And if you can show them that it will improve their life, then that's an easy sell. This is true for B2B as well. Like when you're selling to a business, it's not about what you're selling them is money. You're selling them more money. Essentially, that's how businesses operate. If you can promise them more money and guarantee it, then they will buy your service. It really is that simple. So, but in this case, this is consumer products. I don't know. I think consumer is way more interesting, but whatever. So that's cool. I guess I could do food reviews and stuff too, like a Keith Lee mini Keith Lee. I was like, we got it. Let's try it. Let's rate it 1 to 10. I don't know why people trust his judgment so much on food, because I don't know. Consumers could count as dating photos. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a lot of ideas. All right, what do you guys have on your mind? I'm at 18% battery, so it's gonna be running out soon. Coming up on 3 hours of live streaming. But what do you have on your mind? How's your life going, Nikki? Claire, I ordered the book, so I'll be reading that. Yeah. Hey, Nicole. Let's see who's here. Claire, bro. Kitty literature, interesting. Christina Hammock, hey, user 2918637126375. I feel like you've been here before. Savage Meerkat, that's a great name. That is a great name. You're so sweet. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I hope I enjoy too. Here's the funny thing. I have a lot of books too, like that I'm like in the middle of reading, but I don't know. It's just how I am. It's going good. Just trying to find some good books to read. Yeah. I'm reading Anti-Fragile right now by Nassim Taleb. I think I talked about it before on the live stream, but oh, it's winter break, so I'm staying up late just because. Oh yeah, you're a teacher, huh? Oh, good for you. What do teachers do for 2 weeks in the winter? You don't have any homework to grade, right? Maybe you have to prepare the lesson plan for the coming year, but if it's a subject you've taught before, then you probably already have it. Insomniac curious or just chilling? All right. Oh yeah, I did check out that book. Yeah, it's definitely a weird read because he likes to like wander all over the place. I have a half-price books store here, which it's so easy to buy books, especially on their clearance rack. He's just like, oh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's an interesting book. Oh, I know this author. Let me buy the book. And then so like I have to like settle down. Otherwise, I'm just gonna buy all these books I'm not reading. But yeah. What grade do you teach? That's a good question, Claire. I am curious what grade she teaches. 2 weeks. We all get together and celebrate being kid-free for 2 weeks. I wonder, teachers, what a teacher's party is like, because I can imagine you guys really let loose. I wouldn't be mad. I don't know. I can insinuate a lot of things, but I feel like since you got to be so reserved in the classroom, you guys just let loose around each other. That's what I imagine. Maybe it's like a fraternity, maybe, and sororities. Oh, me too. I have a lot of books. Yeah. 11th graders, super seniors. Oh, wild, insane. Exactly. That's what I figure. You probably have a wild side to you, huh? That no one outside of you and other teachers know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like, yeah, teachers gone wild. Yo, that's probably what happens for 2 weeks. Just go crazy. So yeah. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Yeah, that's what someone who doesn't go wild would say. But yeah, good for you. Good for you. Enjoy these 2 weeks. Have fun, maybe. Yeah. 10th and 11th graders. I think that's the better grade to teach. I don't know if I would. 10th and 11th graders. 12th graders, they're probably checked out because it's like the last year. Or if you're teaching the smart kids, then they're all just concerned with college, whatever, and applications and stuff like that. 10th, 11th, I think is freshmen. They're still new. This is a new experience for them moving to the high school. So you got to deal with those insecurities. But 10th, 11th, I think that's a good range. And I don't know how much crap they could give you, but hey, that's what I'm thinking. If I was taught in a high school, I think that's a grade I would teach. 10th graders, 11th graders, somewhere around there. Yeah. I don't know. And then what would I teach? I'd probably teach like physics maybe. And then like every week we'd be going outside. I teach at East Side High School. What does that mean? Is that like a rough school or something? Because I feel like there's plenty of East Side high schools in America. Yeah, I don't know. In high school, we went to Six Flags for physics. Nice. Oh, very rough. Oh, okay. Have you ever had to fight a student? Has that happened? Or they are respectful enough to know not to, I'm curious. I'm very curious. Yeah. Can't speak on that. Fair enough. Yeah. You don't want to say anything publicly for sure. But wouldn't it be funny? Have you ever run into any students on social media or have seen students post stuff on social media? That'd be weird. Like if they saw you here in this live stream, like, yo, you're Miss whatever. Because they call you Miss something, right? That's weird. Like, I can't imagine being called Mr. Ayman. That's weird. By kids. Oh wow. I thank you for working in high school. That is rough. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it probably prepares you for life too. There's nothing you can't handle if you got to deal with like belligerent kids who come from like rough homes in a rough neighborhood. It's weird seeing them at Mardi Gras parades, especially. Whoa. Oh no. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's wild. Yeah, there's definitely an interesting relationship there, teacher versus student. And then when you see them after they graduate high school, it's weird seeing them as adults and they're living their life as they are. And it's just like, yo, that's crazy. When you get to see them again. Wow. I don't know if I have any more in me, you guys. Like, you guys have anything on your minds? I know it's 2 weeks break. Insomniac, teacher who's off for the next 2 weeks, and Nikki here. You guys have anything on your minds before I end it? I have to sign off. Have a beautiful night. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, you too. Enjoy the rest of your night. Any last words? Anybody? Anything to say? I appreciate all the likes, by the way. You didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate it. And I'll get the technical difficulties sorted out with the camera on YouTube and Twitch if you're watching. Right now you're on the tiny webcam here, which actually looks pretty good. It might honestly be the best stream I've had so far, because apparently the main camera was like downscaling the video because you have to pay for a subscription, whatever. Hope you have a good week. Good night. All right, cool. That's awesome. Everyone have a good night. We're gonna sign out. Appreciate it. And yeah, last thing, audio, new podcast coming out next week. I'll drop it, whatever, in the live stream next week. Working on some stuff, posting videos. I think Instagram's getting more interesting now, since I think I've kind of figured it out. And yeah, I appreciate all of you being here. And I guess maybe see you guys next week, or maybe sooner. Who knows? Bye. 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 Woo. Okay, that's TikTok. All right, you guys on YouTube. I'll figure out the whole technical stuff here eventually. Get this camera working finally, and maybe we can actually get some quality video here, and then maybe angles, because I have this webcam, and this webcam actually looks not bad. And so if we did like angles and stuff, I could do like a CoffeeZilla kind of thing, just like one camera and then look at the other camera, like if it was right here and then it was like right here, or like let's move this right here. It's like look at one camera and it's like, can you believe it, guys? It's just like do all that. Or I could just move you and show different things, whatever. That'd be cool. But we'll see. But I appreciate you guys watching, or whoever watches the replay. I also appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Christmas. Yes, Christmas is coming. Shout out to Jesus. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye.